Grab yourself a seat and keep those hands in the vehicle at all times. You're about to be taken on a ride through the untamed wilds of internet role-playing. Observe them in their natural habitat.
Okay, please don't fight each other. You're too important to die.
Enjoy the splendor of their spurgery.
Okay, you know what? Fuck this, no.
And feast your eyes upon the questionable creations of internet randoms.
Actually, I've never DM'd before.
This is the Supernova Safari.
Hi, welcome to Supernova Safari. I'm Blake, joined by Liam.
I want to cast Create Bonfire.
Ben.
Why are we still here, if only to suffer?
And Noah.
The Supernova Safari reviews these episodes like BAM! Boom! Pow! And it's totally awesome.
And I'm your host with the Frisbee, and why don't we just get into it?
Woo! Hey, I'm gonna take a hot take here. These were the worst two episodes we've listened to so far.
Easily.
Yes.
Easily.
Liam, do you want to read to us the title of episode 5?
Of course, I wrote them down this time. It only took 4 episodes to do it.
I'm so proud of you, boy.
Episode 5, No Monkey Business. A Rocky Start.
God, Liam writes them backwards the way I do. That fucked me up. These are both terrible titles, by the way. I wanted to talk about that. Both the titles for these episodes suck, right? Like 100% soulless today.
They're nothing. They are nothing compared to
No.
episode 6's. I have a fucking comment on that one.
Yeah, episode 6's are really bad.
We're both astroturfed, and we're gonna get into that, but
One of them's so weird.
Well, one of them is interesting.
yeah, this episode starts off with the usual, like, awkward... I think we've kind of touched on it each time, but this will be something we'll continually bang on about probably, and I want to remind everyone that every week there is an awkward recap. Like, I know we do, like, haha, wow, recap jokes about recapping. But these guys literally feel like they're swimming up shit creek without a paddle with these recaps.
Okay. I do have a comment on this.
Yeah.
Ben. So, will you join me as we watch some blood sports? As I would like Noah and Liam to debate on recap styles, as they have complete opposites, and obviously, at the Grimm Campaign, they fall more in the Liam camp. So, Liam, what is your defense in terms of this style of recap?
You go beat by beat, covering every single event as it happened, step by step, leaving nothing behind.
Okay, what's your defense?
Well, why they didn't watch the last episode?
I don't have to agree with him. He just immediately throws up and defend. Okay, go ahead, Liam.
What if they didn't watch the last episode? It's important they gotta catch up.
That's what the CW does.
No.
What they doing?
Noah?
Yeah, I think long recaps are cringe because they only exist for the GM to see if the player was paying attention. If you're in that situation, the game's bad.
I agree with Noah. I'm just really bad at recaps.
Let's go! I want to say that Chad also talks about how he used the wrong stats last time for like a sleight of hand. I don't know how that's possible. I don't know what he used. Good on you, Chad, though, for noticing your failures.
Well, maybe he realized Eddie was just telling him to roll decks.
Not
that was fixed this episode.
It's a good thing we'll get into a little bit.
Okay.
Also, go ahead.
Also, Eddie forgot what episode number they were on already.
It's something he keeps doing, like, right? Like, Eddie literally doesn't seem to give a fuck about episode, like, numbers and stuff. He's just lost here. It's a great sign.
Yeah, it's just like... Oh, God, the episode number thing is so fucking...
Dude, they just had so much good content already. It's so easy to forget how far they've come.
Oh, God, I just remembered the fucking most hilarious thing. where Eddie, as they're doing the recap, is this like there's sabers in Mistral? Huh. The commenters might say mistake, but me, the GM, say but story.
I mean, like, Eddie, you said last time right out the gate that that's abnormal. You'd really have to be stupid to have seen it last week and gone, Eddie, did you make a mistake? Like, he immediately pointed out that that's a weird thing to happen. There was no room for interpretation on that. And I'm also going to rag on... Yeah?
He knows his audience.
I guess so. I want to point out that Rooster Teeth is so very inconsistent. These guys suck. Like, Saber is spelled S-A-B-Y-R. Okay, like, if this is quote-unquote the RWBY way we rename things, like Takeo style, it really should be pronounced Saber. And I'm gonna die on this hill, because I think Saber is better than just being like, oh, it's a Saber with a stupid name selling. So, like, why is it Takeos? Like, pick one. You can't have fucking both, right? I don't know if this bothers anyone as much as me, but, like, I just hate it.
Haha, Takeo.
Haha, Takeo. Why did Eddie do initiative last time? They make a point at the start of the episode.
Oh, yeah,
that was so weird.
Why the fuck would you ever do initiative and then end the session? Like,
can we talk about how Carrie goes, well, I don't remember the order, then proceeds to name the exact order everybody went in?
It's awesome. Thanks, Carrie.
What did Carrie mean by that?
Did anyone fact check him?
I
meant to do that after I finished the episode.
The commenters did, and he did.
I had too much on my plate.
Was right?
Yeah, he was right. I don't know what Carrie meant by this.
That's fucked up.
Dare I say it, that Carrie's being a little too base these episodes, but I'll get into my take on that later.
I would like to say that we weren't lying. Pike is now just a psychopath for the rest of the show.
Yeah, but
there's a psychopath.
No. There is someone in these episodes that is much more of a psychopath than Pike.
Oh, I know. There's some points.
I have the exact quote. Don't worry.
I also have the exact quote.
I'm so excited. The initiatives thing was weird, but I wanted to point out again another just back to Tailspire, the program they use. Immediately looking upon the map, doing this combat, you see their tokens and all the tokens and stuff like standing in giant squares that are clearly meant in Tailspire to be the 5 feet squares you use to interpret distance. But like, they have just bizarrely chosen to never use those and just fucking make a movement going, pick up the piece, put it down, pick up the piece, put it down. And I just don't get it. Like, is Eddie too lazy to make bigger maps?
It's
like,
really
why?
bizarre.
Why?
It's fucking absurd because the way they do it, the maps are now fucking massive.
Yes, exactly. So it looks strange too. The maps become way too big for what they're doing. I don't even think they could size their characters up and these maps would look fine. Like, a hurdle sometimes GMs can feel, I think, using online platforms is like, how big do I need this map to be? Because I can't easily on the fly just work with graph paper and say, yeah, you can go this much further. I know there's a hilarious time that happened in the RWBY game where like you guys were fighting like 60 feet up above the screen, so we just rotated down to the bottom one as like a measuring. And like, yeah, that can be annoying. So I understand that a lot of the time the conclusion is to make maps bigger than you need them to be. But like, I don't know why they do it like this. Yeah, who wants to elucidate like the first sign of trouble with these bearing gulls, also known as the most dangerous Grimm on Earth?
They're tough as... I mean, they're like a brick shithouse, frankly.
And they can, like, jump across the mountain instantly.
Now, I would like to say, after rewatching this, I don't think Eddie was making this up on the spot. When I first watched this, I was like, he's just making this shit up. I don't think that's the case anymore. However, everything he gave the bearing goals was like, dude, okay, well, they have good climbing because monkey, fair, I guess.
Fair. Yeah.
Okay, well, and then, like, they proceed to just be so tanky, like...
They're super tanky. They have a ranged attack.
They have. Oh my god, they do have. You're right. They have a range attack.
They have a pushback prone.
Yeah,
Jesus.
it's pretty ridiculous.
Oh, but when you try to push them, hey, I don't want to get it. Should I get into it? Because that really made me mad.
We have something to say on that. I do want to say that as much as guff I want to give Eddie, because I feel like this combat encounter is way overtuned and just led to a very droll fight. The players are equally awful in that the first time they're in the fight, Asher takes 3 damage, count them, 3 damage, and falls prone. And you hear Chris scream, Eddie, is this the episode we die? Like, I
maybe.
These guys literally overreact to everything possible.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I took damage!
Oh my god, it is insufferable.
It hurts!
It hurts!
No, Felix, save me! It hurts!
That's what hurts.
Who wants to talk about a roster's really cool innovation?
Oh my, okay. Let me do this.
You love a roster, Blake.
Oh boy, do I. So, I want to know, like, what the fuck anyone was thinking here. I'm not even talking about, like, what she did. I'm just talking about, like, the fucking idea of, like, you've never attempted to do this before with your semblance. Like, Eddie, what the fuck? This isn't like a fucking panic moment, like, oh shit, I gotta do something or we're all gonna die. It's just like, oh yeah, there's some fucking Grimm, like, right there that we're gonna, like, you know, beat up and destroy. It's like, Roster's gonna put out a hidden technique she's never done with her semblance, which is fire something. It's just like, why would she do something unpracticed in a very normal scenario? Why do you have to say it's unpracticed? That didn't mean anything. I don't get it.
Well, let me elucidate exactly the context for everyone. So, our roster, the faunus on the team, the quietest character with nothing going for her, is in the midst of this combat. And as a roster does, most of her attacks rely on just the crossbow, dust arrows, stuff. And we talked a bit about her semblance, equilibrium, before. And Laura has the great idea to just ask, hey, Eddie, can I just not have my downside and make it hurt Grimm instead while I heal people? And Eddie's just like, oh, that's such a genius idea, sure. So, Roster Semblance doesn't have a cost anymore. In fact, it's become absurdly busted now.
Oh, yeah. I have to agree, though, that I don't think it ever needed a... Like, did it ever need a downside? Like, I know mechanically it's strong, right?
Yeah.
But, like, did it ever really need that downside? That, like...
No!
It's just, like, such a stupid downside. Like, they had to make a table to be like, oh, if I use this dust, it does this. But then they went, wait, why doesn't it just affect enemies? Like,
hey,
shit!
Why the fuck don't I just use purple? Why the fuck don't I just use purple dust all the time?
I think you mean gravity dust.
No, I'm gonna keep fucking
I want to use purple
this
dust. Yeah, gravity dust.
It cuts back to Laura going, yeah, purple dust.
Base?
I only see color. Laura Bates, quote.
I love on her little table that she probably did just write down the colors instead of, like, literally what they were, like, the elements of.
Yeah, it's awesome. So now her roster's gone from having a semblance with a downside that she could engineer to be an upside to a semblance where she can use the most absurd options she have, like hits an enemy and paralyzes them for 3 turns. Hits an enemy and freezes them for 3 turns. That's not okay. That's just... That is so unbalanced for what that does in 5th edition. To have that so equally. On a to-hit thing, not even a saving throw. Like, bro...
She also used it from her fucking crossbow.
Yes, it's at
from
range.
Like 120 feet away.
So there's no range limitations either.
Yeah, there is.
Like
Chad's grappling hook is 60 feet.
Oh, holy shit!
So that's why you Spider-Man swing up there. That Eddie says, as Eddie describes another thing for a player.
Eddie, you got so excited you described.
No, I want to go attack that Grimm, okay?
You do a little duck and you do a cartoon reaction face as it almost hits you, and then your hair gets mussed up.
Well,
yeah, I know.
We're not at the cartoon reaction yet.
So yeah, Arastra just went one combat or two combats and then immediately got her buff. Kind of a little early for this to happen, if you ask me.
Yeah, we haven't
if it was bound to happen. Carrie also keeps doing this funny thing while Laura's trying to describe these actions, where he just cuts in to do a joke interruption, thinking it's funny, and the editor plays the funny sound over it. And I really think Laura just doesn't like playing with Carrie. There's some reactions she has, especially later, where I know it's probably just her saying Arastra hates Pike, but since her and Arastra basically are the same person most of the time, I can't really differentiate when it's a character thing she's talking about or when a player thing she's talking about. She's not funny Pike man very much, and that's fair. Hey Liam, do you want to talk about how cool magic spells are if we just don't call them magic spells?
Yeah, I fucking love it when Carrie said, I cast Bonfire.
Yeah,
word for word, I cast this D&D 5th edition spell, cantrip, at the Grimm.
I break the masquerade.
Yeah, you can't give it a cool RWBY name! Why not, drill overheat blast or some cringe shit? Why not anything? Why Bonfire?
Because
exactly.
They love it, dude. They love playing D&D.
They love D&D. They could not come up with just in-flavor names for these things. I'm not even asking them at this point to really get creative with the effects and change them a little to make it not just a copy. At least fully reflavor it. Eddie is so embarrassed that he has to cut in and explain, whenever we say this, it's a gun doing it. And Carrie's like, yeah, I'm shooting it to make a bonfire. It's like, Carrie, can't you say I'm shooting napalm?
Yeah, I'm casting Bonfire.
Can you at least say you're using a bonfire? Cast is what a wizard does, man. Holy shit.
Why didn't they just fucking play D&D?
I want to say, as we're getting into this section, it's just one of the highlights of this episode, because it shows a battle of wits. As this fight's going on, Chad is going to show off that, one, he knows about action prepping. Pretty insane that anyone read the 5th edition book, if you ask me.
Way too much, dude.
That's way above their bar.
He should have been kicked instantly.
But Ben, do you want to explain what he's prepping and what this fucking leads to?
You're talking about when Coconuts does it, right? When he preps?
No, I'm talking about when Chad preps his gorilla dodge maneuver.
Yeah, that's Chris.
That's Chris? Isn't it Chad?
No, it's Chad.
Oh, no,
Chad.
fuck yeah.
No.
They both do something.
Yeah, Liam and I were thinking of the same one, but yeah, if you're talking about Chad, then I know, sure. I wanted to talk about how Eddie messes with him on this.
Okay, this is very important.
I also wanted to bring that up.
I don't care what Chad does. I care what Eddie does. This man is like, okay, well, just roll me strength. And he goes, well, Eddie, can I... I'm not, actually trying to physically push it. I'm trying to, dodge it and, use this momentum back onto it. Like a rogue?
Yeah.
A guy who uses dex instead of strength?
For exact reference, we're talking... Yeah, what'd you say, Luke?
Yeah, so what he asked to do was, I want to prepare an action, so if the gorilla comes at me to hit me, I want to roll out of the way, and then kick him off the cliff.
Yeah, because as we all remember at the last episode, Asher's, at the top of this cliff end, and whatever everyone else says is at the bottom, so there's, one Baron Gull up there with him, and more Grimm down there with them. So he's like, I'm gonna unseat this guy, and, throw him off the cliff by dodging, like a fucking matador. Eddie does not know how to handle this.
So, the monkey falls on the cliff, yo.
And then can I say on his turn, Eddie's like, okay, yeah, cool, you can do that. And since you're prepping this, I'll give you advantage on your roll, and it'll be cool. And then
insanely abusable.
And then the monkey's turn. Eddie does not give him advantage.
Yes, he doesn't.
He doesn't. He says, okay, roll strength. And then they have to get in this argument, I don't want to fucking throw him off. I want to, be cool and dodge and shit. And then he's like, okay, if you use aura, then you can have advantage. And it's like, Eddie, what the fuck? You reneged on what you've already promised.
Get fucked.
He not only reneged on it, like, Chad finally says, like, Eddie, wouldn't this be acrobatics? And then he goes, nah, it's like Dex.
Nah.
Give me a Dex.
It's Dex. And like Liam said, that shit where he's like, it has to be an aura cost. At one point he then says, well, it's an aura cost to get advantage. Which once again doesn't happen.
Yeah, it has to be an aura cost.
It's so... I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was about to just bitch that it is so nonsense to not use skill rolls when you're using 5th edition. That's what the fucking system's designed around.
It's so crazy. And like Eddie is here. Like, Eddie proposes to him, you can do the aura thing, or you could do a strength roll. And Chad, you hear this just complete bafflement. It's just like, Eddie, why would I ever use a strength roll here? And this section, I want to point out, has a lot of editing. So I feel like there's some, like, not like ranting, like, oh, they secretly hate each other schizo taped here. But there is clearly a lot of deliberating going in on this point where Chad's probably going, Eddie, I don't understand why you're, like, being so hard with this. And it's like, cut around.
Can I also cut in to randomly say that natty 20s are poggies, and also I think an actual funny joke was Carrie stopped interrupting people just so he could interrupt Phoenix one more time by texting him mid talk.
Oh my god.
That's an actual funny joke.
We need to talk about fucking literally Chris
combat.
is trying his best to do RWBY shit. And Pipe is literally off the fucking rails.
Hold on, we can get into that. I just want to finish this one trip interaction, because there's one more fucking amazing point we have to talk about.
Oh, of course,
Please.
of course. We've been talking about that for months.
This shit has been rent-free in my head for months. So not only does Chad actually roll a 19, like, you can tell Eddie's like, oh, god damn it. He gets a success on this. And then he's like, okay, fine. But now the Berengal is going to roll a strength to see if he can, like, hold on to the ledge.
It's so...
after he succeeds.
You succeed, but now he gets the counter roll.
So not only did he have to beat a strength contest, but now the Berengal gets, like, a saving throw afterward. And then just quickly, like, his chest becomes like, well, it'll still take damage, which I don't know how it would in that case.
Well, no, hold on. Eddie says, don't worry, it'll still take damage. I just want to see if it falls the whole way.
So
what? Because it fucking hacks itself?
And then grab something?
Well, yeah, because
I don't even know what he meant.
And then Eddie, I have been willing to be like, I know Eddie's a first-time DM, so I can cut him slack on some things. But Eddie preemptively ruined his chance for me to cut him slack here. Because Eddie starts this sentence off by going, I know how fall damage works, but... and then he says, it's like D4 per 10 feet or something. Which is first wrong, so nice call out on that one.
Actually, I don't think he says that. I think he says...
Yes, he does.
Is it D4?
He literally says D4.
I thought he said 40-10.
No, he says D4 per 10 feet. And then...
Oh my god.
Then he goes, like, I don't know, it's like 100, 120 feet. We'll just say how, it takes 30 damage. Which is incredibly lowballing the actual roll possibility at this feat.
Well, yeah, he didn't want to, actually hurt the Berengal.
And then... Eddie has the audacity, after this whole fiasco, to reveal that the Berengal's alive after falling 120 feet down a cliff. And Chad had to invest in his life savings to get through Eddie's fear of letting his player do something that's a little inorganic to the system.
Can I explain something?
Yeah.
Eddie, gets an almost sexual amount of pleasure from fucking with his players, and like denying them cool moments. Like
he loves it.
He is jerking himself off when he can roll a counter roll and like beat a player at something and be like, haha, fuck you, player.
Because it's him versus the player.
Except for Rostra, she has to be protected. She's very important.
Rostra, I'm gonna give you advantage on that because edit to her rolling. Like,
I mean,
like, yeah, this is the correct take. Is that Eddie really likes fucking with them? And, like, we can go back to that great quote where he's like, I hate when players throw a wrench in my plan. Like, Eddie has one of the worst DM mindsets and then skill sets. Like, I have seen DMs who are assholes who are good at doing their games still. You're just like, well, you're still a dickhead and kind of, like, over-controlling. But they can still do it well.
Like, here's a tip. You can take it or leave it. DMs and players are actually not at odds with each other. It's all everyone trying to have fun together. So you're not like you're not trying to beat them. You're trying to have fun with them. And if you having fun is literally if you having fun is like fucking them over, I guess
go play Among Us. I don't know.
I guess go play Among Us or just I don't know.
Play Munchkin. That's a good tabletop game. It's about just literally fucking people over.
Here's another thing. Is like I wrote this down, but this applies like now, even though I wrote it down later. Mm-hmm. Eddie, like, he just like doesn't fucking know like the audience he's like playing towards. It's like he, like you can see them getting frustrated at things he's doing, or like just not being on the same page with him, and it's just like Eddie. It's like he literally doesn't have any regard or even, like, understand the players he has. Or, like, what they find fun.
It really feels like that Eddie is, you know, it's his first time, so he's way too concerned with his own setup and game functionality that he's not understanding the other part, which is really, you have to be like a host as a DM.
Yeah.
And you really, like, I don't subscribe to this so far that I'm like, I kneel for the players. I want people to think that exactly. But I think you really should be doing your best to have the best collaborative experience, which can obviously include punishing your players sometimes, even for like, no good reason necessarily, so long as it's not to an absurd degree. Like, yeah, fucking your players over in combat or something, like, of course you want to do that, but you generally don't want to get it in by introducing, like, retarded roles like the Berengal getting an extra throw. You want to do it by making the encounter hard by itself. And Eddie just is not ready for player creativity. Smash cut to Chris trying to have player creativity. Ben, you wanted to take this part, right?
What? When they
Chris attempting to do RWBY things.
Oh, well, I would like to say that Chris in actually really both episodes, he is trying. Phoenix is by far my favorite character because he's actually trying to do some stuff here. He's trying to do some RWBY stuff. And so what he does is, by the way, they're making fun of Pike this whole fucking episode. He has done nothing of use. It's really his fault. It's 5th edition.
They keep calling his dice rolls shitty and being like, haha, Pike embarrassingly misses.
So
Chris made one declaration at the beginning that he said, I won't take damage this combat.
Yeah.
We'll get back to that.
We'll get back to that. So, Chris goes, okay, well, I'm gonna do like a I think he does like a downward swing with a shield.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, I'm gonna also like I'm gonna use an R point to prep something after this. And I'll tell you after I do it. So he swings and he misses, and he's like, okay, well, that doesn't really affect anything. Alright, so I'm gonna set up my shield, and he's like, alright, go help a roster. So he does, you know, like the Captain America, like you jump off his shield and he launches you. So Pike. Can anyone else get a read on Carrie during this?
Chaotic.
Carrie seems like,
to himself, he can ruin things.
See, it's also so weird because
He's spitting in the face of his
Pike?
one ally here.
Pike?
Arastra and Asher, Laura and Chad are making fun of Carrie. Chris is trying to big him up, and so Pike
Which
goes
is so
after
weird,
him.
because Pike is nothing but a fucking annoy Phoenix. Like, he's literally texting him mid-battle.
Yeah, Carrie has a small segment. I don't think we commented. I think it happened this time where Carrie's, like, asking about, like, talking during combat.
Yes, he does. No, he does that twice.
He does this twice, and Eddie is of course
because he's like, "Can I talk off turn?"
And Eddie's like, "Yeah, it's free." And
it's free.
And so of course, because Carrie can't take anything fucking seriously, not being ironic, that's embarrassing. He makes Pike talk like, guys, just by the way, dude," and like there's edited in like silly music. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ, guys, can you not take anything seriously for a goddamn second?
Don't fucking text me Nat 20 poggers, Blake. You're fucking dumb. I love you.
Okay, sorry, but back to this awful segment. Feel free to cut in if anyone else has a thought on it with that.
It's just so bad, dude. Like, okay, look, what is it, Blake? I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, it's just like, you can see Eddie unzip his pants and take out his penis as Carrie misses his shot when he jumps off Phoenix's shield.
Yes, he wanted to do cool shit, and guess what?
Eddie is literally on the verge of orgasming when he's like, "Ooh, it's almost dead, but you didn't get it."
I mean, these guys tried to do a team attack, and like Eddie, it feels like Eddie's like not willing to. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Pike didn't even get like advantage during this maneuver, right? Like,
no,
I don't think he did. Not to mention, I would like to point out, Phoenix spent an aura point to do this.
Yeah, that's why I figured he'd get some bonus or something.
Well, no, remember, he goes, well, Pike used all his movement to get up to you, but since you used an aura point, I'll let you.
Yeah, movement costs, yeah, I've been there before.
Very cool.
I guess that's what he spent it for, and it's like, it's really like, I won't say again, I don't want to make it sound like you have to capitulate to your players' demands, but if you're in a RWBY game and for the first time in it someone says they want to do a team attack, don't you want to, like, get behind your players trying to think that way and be like, sure, I'll give you advantage if you spend an aura point here, Pike?
Yeah. Can I also say, I'm sure you guys will agree with me when I say, like, watching this really makes me appreciate, like, the flare system we have in your game.
What do you mean?
Like, how we have an inbuilt system allowing us to do creative, fun things, like the setting kind of asks for, instead of just like, well, I guess I'm just gonna jump up on a shield, miss my shot, and just fly into a rock like an absolute retard.
That's the problem I have. Like, they tried to make a system like that with the aura points where you can, like, roll for extra attacks, or I think you're allowed to give advantage in attacks. I know you can do it in skill rolls, but, like, no one fucking does it. So, like, literally to the point where in the next episode, Eddie has to chime in with, guys, use the aura point system to get advantage if you want to succeed at things. And it's just so, like these guys are fucking idiots. Eddie has given them, like, if you've played 5th edition, you probably know about inspiration, but also know that, like, so many people don't actually remember to use inspiration.
Nobody has ever.
GMs don't hand it out. They don't like to, like, think about it and stuff. But, like, they have a pseudo-mechanical expanded inspiration system that they're just fucking ignoring most of the time. Like, I'm not asking for these guys to be as optimized as possible, because they're clearly not familiar enough to want to do that, or care to do that. But, like, a little bit would probably help. It's very frustrating. After this exchange where they make fun of Pike for failing again, and Eddie describes it, and there's funny haha music over it, a Berengal walks up and crits Pike. Did anyone remember how much he crits him for?
5 damage.
5 fucking damage.
I'm so confused on the scaling. I'm so confused on scaling values, because obviously Berengals have more than 30 health by a pretty significant margin. But, like, then he crits for 5? It's like...
No, it was a severe that crit him. It was a severe.
It was a severe? Okay.
Yeah, because it leapt on his back like a cat.
Right. Oh, yeah, the severe is also, like,
no,
super
the severe
low.
didn't crit. You said Pike. The severe crit,
Phoenix.
Yeah, this is a Berengal, Ben. Like,
did a Berengal crit?
I don't remember a Berengal crit.
Yeah, I don't remember a Berengal
No,
getting
I remember the Savior crit Phoenix.
I'm talking about Pike. Pike gets crit.
I don't know. Pike doesn't take any damage.
No, Pike doesn't take...
It was Phoenix. You're right.
Because I have written down every single nat 20 as a 20 pog. And
oh, yeah, and then... Oh, God, that probably didn't even go for his temp HP or something. Jesus Christ, Eddie. I don't know. This encounter is weird. The Sibirs feel so undertuned, and the Berengals are throwing rocks that are doing better damage than their crits. Like, I get the idea of having big guys, small guys, as like a good combat balance, but this entire encounter seems like very poorly thought out in the long run. Very much.
There was a point I wanted to touch on that happened early on, and kind of was the general theme of the fight, I think. So these maps are so fucking big. In turn 1, Phoenix he just started close to the wolves, I guess, so he made it in a turn.
Yeah.
And then on Carrie's first turn, he's like, all right, I'm going to move 30 feet. He moves his piece one step at a time. And he's still like another fucking like 45 feet away from the fucking wolves.
It's awesome.
And being useful. And he's like, oh, that's my turn.
Awesome.
And then he moves the fucking Berengals like 80 feet in one turn. And Carrie calls him out. Like, what the fuck is this? Why do they move so much? Obviously salty that he didn't do anything on his turn.
It's so funny. Like, the Berengal shit is so egregious seeming. Like, they are a little too overtuned, to say the least. And not in a way that, like, really ends up crumpling their penises. Like, in a way that makes the combat probably take 30 more minutes than it needs to. There isn't, like, an interesting level of threat, oh, man, we gotta think about this. It's just, well, they just have a lot of HP and can move far and always can do something that hurts us.
And then, Arastra's turn, when she does the bullshit with her semblance, she's, like, right next to fucking Carrie, and she's like, oh, I wanna, like, go up on the cliffs and, get some high ground or some shit. Yeah. And it smash cuts, and she moves like 80 fucking feet away from Carrie up onto the cliff.
Yeah!
I don't know what the fuck happened there. Why she was allowed to move like 80 feet. Yeah. I don't know. I guess Eddie plays favorites or some shit.
Oh, actually.
Oh, they play favorites?
I would be pissed if I was Carrie.
I'll tell you what. Do you want to handle it?
Who?
Oh, I said Ben. Do you know why?
Oh, I didn't hear Ben.
Okay.
I think I do know why. Because... This might be... I don't know if I'm misremembering. However, I do think they mentioned that Arastra has as extra jumping because of her Faunus legs.
Cat legs. The
Yes.
vaccine knockoff.
Exactly!
Twice jumping height, 30 climb speed, baby.
Is he retarded and let her move 30 feet and then jump fucking another 30 feet?
That's not how it works.
I think that's what he must have done.
I'm pretty convinced he doesn't understand and might have let her do... Because I forget, does Arastra climb up the cliffs, for height? I'm like 90% certain Eddie sees this and goes, well, she moved 30 feet on the ground and then she moved 30 feet up.
Yeah, against John. Well, she has 30.
You're so right.
No, you guys, it's very simple. 30 feet of move speed and then 30 feet of climb speed.
There's also the even more cursed world where Carrie thinks movement is pick the piece up and Arastra thinks movement is squares. And he didn't correct Carrie because I don't want to, interrupt my player. I don't know. I don't know which is which. And both are horrific.
Both are equally possible, fuck.
Yeah, Arastra hits a fucking enemy and kills it. And I forget who says it immediately, but they just go, damn, Arastra's the MVP this fight! I guess go go fuck yourself, Chad. You did a cool maneuver and did 30 damage to something, but Rasta shot a bow to some beer and killed it. So, like, lol, get fucked, dude.
Oh, can we also talk about Chris's cool move that he did before the shield jump? So he was fighting two Sabirs, and he's being bitten by one. And he's like, all right, I transformed my claw back into a shield to pop its mouth open. And then he, like, slammed it down and fucking killed it in one hit.
It's awesome.
I was based.
It's awesome. Chris is in top form. Chris is trying to do so much RP shit, and people are... This happens a lot in the second episode, where he's, like, trying to do RP shit, and people are like, yeah, well, it doesn't make sense for me to understand what you mean by that.
Oh my god, I wanted to fucking kill Chad.
Can I? No. I want to use. Can I get another bonus action?
Can I get another bonus action? Carrie. One, of course you can. An action can be downgraded to one, but also, Carrie, why? Like...
Well, he misses.
Never got to find out.
An action cannot
No. He misses. He doesn't do it. Well, he misses his attack and then just doesn't do it because he
doesn't. Oh,
well,
right.
Because changing your weapon stance is a bonus action.
That is so.
What the fuck? That's so nonsense, Eddie. In base 5th edition, you can drop a weapon and unsheath another one as part of your move action.
Yeah,
These are fancy fucking magic RWBY weapons that transform. You get a button. Why does it cost a fucking action?
He's out of movement, Liam.
Huh?
He's out of movement, Liam.
He's out. That's not what it means.
That's part of your movement. As in, it's free.
Dropping is free. Drawing is part of move. 5e has a pretty decent explanation for how to handle those. But as we all know, reading the book is gay, so I don't need to know the rules.
Their own system.
It's their own system, right?
Yeah, I don't know why we're comparing it to this 5e.
That recasted bonfire, my bad.
Typical RPG losers comparing everything to their precious 5th edition.
D&D system. Have you tried not playing D&D?
Yeah, have you tried not playing D&D? Have you tried not playing D&D? Wow, really cool.
That's a sick copy pasta. I love that funny image. Thanks, TG.
Have you tried being very creative? I know it might be hard.
At one point, I think he described this for either Pike dodging or Phoenix getting hit. Says your character does that like comical looking whoa face.
Oh my. Okay, no, I wrote this down. You kind of look at it comically as Eddie does a funny face.
Why, motherfucker? Please stop describing your player characters as being embarrassing, out of their control. When it's not like, oh, you slip because of a maneuver and fall on your ass, haha. Like, okay, like, you can have that happen sometimes. But, like,
Felix drops his sword.
You do a funny face? Are you fucking for real, Eddie?
Felix drops his sword and does a funny face.
Holy shit. Are you kidding me? Yo, this is something that bothered me. Why does Eddie have so many Grimm whimper when they're dying?
Oh, I was wondering if you'd noticed that.
I don't fucking know.
They're not animals. Why would a Grimm whimper? What the fuck,
Because
Eddie?
he doesn't want to die.
They don't have a concept of life and death.
There's a heart.
Yeah, maybe in your gay setting. Hey, this guy writes that shit. You better back off, friend.
Yeah, what do you know?
What do you know?
What do I know? My bad.
Now watch as I pee into this river of Grimm.
Hey, next time we fight a Grimm, if it doesn't start begging for its life at low hit points, I'm literally gonna start screaming.
Wait a minute, guys. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
What's that sound? It almost sounds like.
Oh no, dude.
So, Eddie.
None of this mattered. Let's just say it. None of this mattered.
This everyone, on free. 1, 2, 3. Nothing.
None of
Eddie should
this
kill himself.
mattered.
This color didn't matter.
What?
Can't say that.
In the game.
What did he say?
What did Liam say?
Nothing. Okay. Team Smoke shows up. Yeah.
Just edit it out like when Chad said shit.
Yeah. Team Smoke shows up. And boy, aren't they so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Eddie goes in. Eddie's descriptions are so lacking, but he commits so much time to them. He goes on for like a minute or two straight, describing like in the most like basic descriptors possible, like smoke filling the valley, and you hear like gunshots and swing sounds. Eddie not only loves boring descriptions, but he loves throwing an onomatopoeia. At one point, Eddie is just like, you hear dust going off, like whoosh. And then, this is my favorite line. Eddie describes two members of Team Smoke flashing and like sword swipes and flashes appearing in front of you as they do an awesome team attack, boom, 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 and kill the Grimm.
Really cool, right?
I don't know what to say. I
like that they could freeze time and do all this in 6 seconds.
Yeah, like Eddie is just like, yo, cutscene. I don't have to worry. I'm just gonna fucking do it. Like, I'm not gonna halt. I know these players are idiots. They're not gonna ask if they can interrupt. There's no reason these people wouldn't interrupt. All they are is a bit like blinded by smoke. But no, Team No Name here is just standing here slack-jawed as the Team Smoke kills all the Grimm. And this brings me back to that one question we did, where is this intentionally Keck or cringe? Like, with Team Smoke. And this is one of those times where Eddie confuses me. Because it's shown that Team Smoke isn't, like, an actual joke. So I, once again, go back to that bar scene with a different eye. Because Eddie's showing that, dude, this combat encounter that was hard for you guys, Team Smoke could literally do a fucking Persona all-out attack and just one-shot them. Smoke cloud and everything. And appear on the cliff. Like, one, awesome. Just saying, like, yeah, you guys suck. Let me rub it in your face. Very graceful way to show their players that villains are intimidating. And by graceful, I mean, like, literally the equivalent of rocks falling on their head. Which will be very critically important in a minute here. Like, how do you two feel about, like, Ben, Liam, give me a Keck or cringe defense on enemies show up and make your characters look weak because they beat the enemy you were struggling to beat. Is that awesome or what?
Omega cringe.
I think it can be done right, but it rarely, and I mean literally, there's like a 3% chance of this ever working out. It usually is done. It's never. See what I
like?
It's never done in a good way. It really is.
If they weren't fucking huntsmen, and if they were like huntsmen in training, and huntsmen did it, yeah, sure. You know, if fucking Garrett Strider shows up and fucking kills him in one turn, then yeah, I'm cool with it. Fuck it. He's way stronger than them. But I feel like Sarah should be kind of on par with you, give or take a little bit.
And I'm pretty sure they're also like fresh out of an academy too. Like these guys are young also. They're never described as like much more senior than them. Like they might have a few years on them, but the difference and there's a certain delivery you have when you're making it like the enemy's doing it and you're using it antagonistically. Like the player's reaction to Team Smoke is that they hate Team Smoke, but I don't feel it like it's a fun way. I think they're like, this team sucks. Like that's a way to make your players hate something, but you don't unironically want your players to literally hate everything about the villain. You want them to feel motivated to confront them. Like, I guess Eddie's going for the angle of, I'm going to make them so obnoxious that my players are motivated to beat the shit out of them by putting my players through a bunch of obnoxious things? Question mark? Like, I just think it's so... it's clearly like you said, Ben, like, there's a way this can be done right. But every time most people do this, it's that classic, like, here's the DMPC. Like, that's always the go-to people think of.
Well, yeah, because it's always... how do I put this? I think the real deep problem here is, like, we don't have a gauge for how powerful they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Are they supposed to be level 1? What does level 1 mean for a huntsman? Because they're huntsmen, they're level 1, I guess, but, like, shouldn't they be stronger than that? I mean, it's really weird.
This idea of them being this low level, like level 1 or 2,
it's weird.
At the start of this campaign, while being graduated huntsmen, has forever fucked the scaling of power in this campaign up, and that's such a good way to summarize it.
It's really weird.
It is eternally baffling and hard to figure out. Like, we make this joke about how fucking strong Berengal are, but, like, I can't tell you how strong, like, Team No Name is here. Because they feel like literally just normal people with weapons half the time. It's bizarre. And leads Team Smoke to just being more obnoxious. I mean,
they're not even intimidating, really. It's just like,
it's aggravating.
None of that. They basically, what I'm saying is, this is doing this trope basically the worst way. These aren't right. Like, I know what's up the rivals. They're not rivals. They're really not.
They wanted to have, like, stronger, the villain team,
I guess, but they aren't cool.
And also, you could just say, like, I mean, by this point, the Grimm are probably almost already dead. Like, they've been fighting them for a while.
What?
So
why didn't
I be that impressed by this?
Why didn't Eddie just have Team Smoke also have gotten the same job? Because apparently it fucked up and sent so many people. Right. One guy was supposed to do this.
Why couldn't it have been?
Why instead of making them literally be antagonistic? Why didn't he just make it so they're, you know, kind
racing for it, like competing for the payment?
Because it doesn't matter. And spoiler alert, excuse me. Fuck whatever Crow said in the first episode. They get their new mission in episode 6. We'll get to that though.
I think
because Eddie forgot.
I think the first time we watched episode 6, we'll get into it later.
Oh, we got mind broken. We got absolutely mind broken.
We got mind broken, and we said this is probably where the series should have started. Like, episode 6 feels like a reboot at the second half. Yes. It feels like the start of a campaign module, and it is baffling to me.
Yeah, basically. I mean,
and yeah, like, all of this about Team Smoke is AstroTurf to fuck it and back, beyond capability at this point. They are literally just like a Looney Tunes gank squad that's antagonistic to them. I don't know why Eddie thought it would be a good idea to have them, like, meme on the Grimm. They should have just came in afterwards and been like, we were waiting for you guys to be a little softened up by the Grimm. Didn't want to, like, break our nails doing this or something. Because, like, Team Smoke's, like, vain, I think, is one of their character traits. One of them's, like, this fat retard rohog, so maybe not, but fuck internal consistency and team design. That's out the window.
So, I apologize.
The main party being here.
But let me chime in on something you guys are saying. On the point of the not unwinnable encounter, but the NPC coming in and stopping the encounter, like, mid-fight. Either friendly or antagonistic. Either way, like you said, without a proper power scale, it's pretty awful. But not only that, I think even if there was proper power scale, it's not the play, at least in my opinion, in the first couple, like, in the second or third combat. Like, give the players some time to do stuff before you start doing that.
They haven't had a single combat that wasn't, like, a gimmick mechanic.
Yeah, it's like, give them...
maybe, I guess, the first wolf.
Yeah, the gimmick was there was 1 and 2 Beowulf.
Yeah, it's like, this is the kind of thing you pull out way later of, like, okay, traditional fights against Grimm are kind of old hat. So it's like, this is like, oh, you think you just have another fight, and then bam, something happens. But it's like, Eddie just has such a hard-on for Team Smoke, and thinks they're actually keck, when in fact they're cringe. Team Smoke is awful. Like Noah said, they're AstroTurf to hell and back.
They're AstroTurf. They're confusingly joking. They're like, once again, I just have the ever-present feeling that these guys would be embarrassed to play anything straight in this game. They'd be embarrassed to be seen taking this role-playing thing a little too, like, straight-faced. It has to have a joke, or else, like, that'd be gay, dude.
Okay.
If, like, we weren't joking around, it'd be really lame to, like, role-play.
Yeah, this plays into something I was very, very hurt by that happens here.
Oh my
which is,
God.
they show up with Daff, right? Like,
Right.
he's beaten... This is, like, what's happening in the story for us to recap so you don't have to fucking watch this.
Yeah.
It's
Team
like,
Smoke is here, and they have Daff bound up, and, like...
And they beat him
up.
up. He's like bleeding, he's roughed up, he's basically unconscious. And they're basically talking from up, like, 150 feet, basically, from what Eddie was saying.
On that cliff they were fighting on.
It's way up on this Mario Canyon. But basically, so Eddie starts trying to have a dialogue. And this is where I'll cut him some slack. He's trying to talk and do some villain story stuff. And I felt physical pain imagining having to play a villain with Pike fucking Wright talking. Liam, this isn't even in the same fucking vein as Ron versus Power. This is so much worse.
Oh no.
No.
I could not. You're a fucking master compared to Pike Wright of like responding to the villain.
It is such a painful discussion.
Hey, you! No, stop, you bad man! Give me back my boy Daff.
This is
back our boy.
This is Team Smoke.
Haha, we
up
were
here.
looking for tacos.
But the Tacos did not taste like
I wish to set this up really quickly.
Okay, go ahead.
And then let's get some of these quotes in. It is them standing there, Eddie trying to fucking do some storytelling by being like, Smoke's like, yeah, like we were hired to like keep people out of this valley. It's good work. He like skirts so close to quoting, "You can find love with scrupulous work." Like literally quoting the opening.
Oh no, dude.
And they're like, "What are you guys doing for? Stop texting me, Nat 20, Blake. What are these guys doing here?" And Chris pipes up. I was told, what were you guys doing in the hedges? We heard you were in the hedges. And Chris speaks up. I heard there were the best tacos there, but all I found was turkey legs. And this entire
You're skipping something. Okay. Literally within like the first sentence of them asking like, "What are you doing here?" Fucking Asher is like, "I show the coin! I show the coin!" And then hard cuts and then don't mention it again.
Eddie
ignore it.
Hard cut. Eddie ignores it. Just refuses to let them show the Taskmaster coin because Eddie realized that he doesn't have a good way for that situation to end. I think because I think. If he's playing, I don't know, honestly. I don't know how much credit I should give Eddie here. If he's literally said, Chad, shh, don't say it. Or if he's like, oh, fuck, don't say it, that'd be awkward. I don't know what to say about that interaction. It is so funny to me. I'm glad you brought up Liam. I almost fucking forgot that.
It's very strange.
Surreal. Like, and that summarizes this entire talk. You can go in a sec, Blake. Okay. Is Chad is desperately trying to talk to Team Smoke and level with them and get dialogue in and like learn more what they're doing through prodding and trying to explain to them like we literally don't want to get in your way, please. We will fuck off. And every other player is jumping in to ruin his like diplomatic like attempt to negotiate.
I mean,
it is soul crushing.
It fucking sucks for Asher that he has to walk this infinite canyon to ever have a chance of speaking with them.
He is continually asking if, like, can I get closer, like, talk to them, or actually, like, can I sneak behind them? And he's like, no. He ignores his attempts to walk forward.
Can I
not to mention that, how the fuck did Team Smoke sneak up the canyon? Like,
They came from the top.
But they were at ground level fighting the Grimm with them at one point in the smoke.
They fired off.
They're all like smoker. They turn into smoke and fly.
Only one of the guys has that.
Yeah, but he's
not even the main guy.
He's like RWBY. You can turn him into smoke too.
And well, it's the girl. I forget her name. And then the actual Syl has the shadow semblance, I think. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So someone else want to fire off in this cutscene? It's awesome.
No, you think I know there's more than one character? This is an amorphous blob called Team Smoke. This is an amorphous blob called Team Smoke because they've never had
that feel when he hooks you out of position. Fuck.
I hate Carrie. I hate him so much during this.
Want to get some reasons why you hate the boy himself?
He won't shut the fuck up and stop being like, no, give me Daft back. I like Daft. And like this is where I wrote down that Eddie doesn't know his playgroup because it looks like he's surprised that they're doing this. When it's like, Eddie, did you think they wouldn't do this? It's Pike fucking right!
I would almost be on Eddie's side because these guys have shown a sociopathic level of devil-may care towards people's lives. So,
let's wait for next episode.
We're gonna get to it. But then I would just go, then why did Eddie bring Daff in the first place? So there's no word. Like, Eddie sets this up and is shocked. It's so bizarre.
Okay. So, how this goes is then Team Smoke is like, holy shit, you guys are insane. We're gonna give you one last chance. Comply or we bury you. And then they press the button to bury them without waiting for responses.
No. The reason they press the button is because, does anyone else remember, or should I take?
Because Chris takes a picture of them.
Funny Lion Man is like, I want to take a stealthy picture. And I want to use this as a leaping off point to mention one thing I fucking hate about this game, and I see a lot of people who strict D&D doing this. Okay, so he's like, I want to take like a sneaky picture of Team Smoke for evidence later. And Eddie's like, oh, that'll be a deception roll for that.
I'm so fucking triggered by this.
Fuck off, Eddie. What the idea that the failing deception means you put the flash on and alert them is so retarded. Okay, but my point here with that is that, like, Chad's like, or Chris is like, well, my deception's shit. But then he rolls. Why do people never, ever hear, that will be in this campaign here, well, that will be this roll. Oh, I'm bad at that one. And then never go, I don't want to do that action then. Because they know, they're like, oh, well, this'll suck, and then they roll the dice. Like, why do they carry it out? Willingly.
They could get a Pog 20.
Do they not realize that they can say, I don't want to do that?
Oh my god, I think we need to talk about something, guys. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves.
But I really wanted to be mad.
And, okay, well, maybe we could have fit this into the next section, but I gotta talk about this.
Well, hold on. Eddie. I want to hear Liam's mad.
Okay, what is it?
Why is he doing a deception check to take a picture stealthily? Deception is a charisma stat! Why is he not rolling sleight of hand? The skill to be slide with the hands!
It's so unbelievable how poor they are at grappling with a list of like 12 skills.
It's not hard!
You know, I think you guys are taking this too seriously.
Shut the fuck up!
Yeah, you guys haven't said anything ironically or in a silly voice in a while. Aren't you guys taking this game a little too seriously?
Give me Daft back!
Give me
Daft back!
This game's not
like the least you can fucking do is just read your skills and pick the one that actually makes fucking sense. Like, come on. It would have been
deception if he took a selfie and lied about it.
Yeah. It's so insane.
Do you think Pike Wright carries around a selfie stick?
No, I don't think Pike...
Yes.
I don't think Pike knows what a
selfie stick attachment for his...
He obviously has a selfie stick.
For their phone, scroll, I don't know, we rotate.
We rotate. Alright, Ben, what are we talking about here?
Okay, well, again, we could have fit this in the next section. However, I gotta talk about this. Dude, hey guys, when you roll a skill... A 20 is not an automatic success. And a 1 is not an automatic
5e, it's not 5e.
It's not. It's just.
You're right, Ben. It's not. It's Pog. Let's go.
Let's go, Poggies!
I literally, like, I had this written down. Like, the next episode embodies this problem, where they just, hey guys, please read the book. Like, it is only attacks and death saving throws that have specific applications for what happens when you roll a 1 or a 20 in 5th edition. Those are the only times that matters. Not even normal saving throws matter for nat 20s. You can still fail them if you don't have the amount somehow. Like, that is how it works in 5th edition. Like, haha, funny joke, they're not playing 5th edition, but they are. Like, and you know what they'd say probably that? Well, we're house ruling. I'd say, well, look, good. Yeah, I'd like to roll athletics to jump to the moon. I rolled a 20. Eddie, I'd like to go to the moon now. Like, I fucking hate this shit. It's so awful. Ben is right. Like, it is balanced like this for a reason. I don't know. It's a good thing there aren't any episodes that's like, you know, basically only skill checks, right, guys?
Not that I remember.
And let's move on to episode 6. Heroes by a long
hold on.
Sheathe me.
Hold on, like 2 seconds, because we didn't explain what happened to set up episode 6.
I do have the last few notes, but Liam, I'm sorry, I baited you by having the perfect transition.
You did bait me, and it's fine.
Okay.
Hold on. Can I? Blake, do you have
we
a
could
quote?
just do the recap, and then that'll catch everyone up, too.
Blake, do you have the quote the Team Smoke Syl says, or can I say it? Because it's one of my favorite.
You go.
This is, once again, I just want to point out, I love the quote when Eddie's talking as, like, cool or villainous or intimidating characters, because he doesn't know how to. Syl is, like, about to blow up the canyon, these guys are, because he sees the photo be taken. He goes, well, that was a bad idea. And, like, as he's taking the bomb, as he kicks, like, Daft down the hill with them, he's like, goodbye, team, whoever you are. And that's his exit cool villain line. Are you, like, read out... Sorry, I gave that too much punch. He goes, well, goodbye, team, whoever you are. Like, Eddie, have you ever been, like, mad or snide in your entire life? Can you not, like, channel a little bit of that? Can you not, like, push a little bit of that out?
Nope.
I'm dying here. Nope. So the episode ends. Is this what you wanted to talk about?
Yeah. So
go ahead.
So after Syl presses the button on his scroll, his little beep-a-boop, the canyon goes into its attack function, and some sirens start blaring. Well, they don't make noise. These are lights. Chris tries to ask if they make noise, and Eddie is very coy, and just says they're red lights. I don't know why.
Because he's like, I don't want people to hear this, even though there's an explosion going off. Awesome.
Yeah, Eddie, I think they're going to hear what happens next. And I think they do hear it, Eddie, because you have them show up later. But whatever. So what happens is that, like, the canyon starts fucking exploding and giant rocks start falling, and it's like, what the fuck is the point of this canyon? I'm just fucking actually wondering. It's like, wasn't this like a mining place that they said? What the fuck did it just have like an? Why did it have a bunch of red alarms that caused it to fucking explode?
They said earlier that like it looked like there had been explosions going off recently. Do you think Team Smoke is repeatedly setting this up where people who come to investigate, they blow up the same like hill and are?
That's how they said. I think that's how they sounded.
And they're just doing the same thing and slowly inching deeper and deeper and making this valley bigger and bigger.
Like I'm literally sitting there being like, what the fuck is this canyon trap maneuver? Like, what the fuck where are they? What is going on? Also, the last point before we get into episode 6 and Liam can read the title for the first time is that Carrie, in fact, did not get damaged.
Yes, carrying a very Richard maneuver brings up his autistic declaration that he said at the start of the game. That's right, mister. I'm calling you out.
What?
It's okay. It's okay. He gets his comeuppance for the next 15 minutes to start of the next episode.
My god, they literally stamp on Carrie's dick for the next episode.
Okay, Liam, why don't you get us in there then?
No! Okay. There's one more point! It's so important to me. As the episode's leaving, one of the last lines Eddie's going, and this is important, Blake, because you brought this up the first time out. Eddie jerks off the player Misery. Eddie's like, I was so happy to see your guys' faces when Team Smoke arrived, to see your reaction to them, to see how you felt when they showed up and killed all those Grimm with Dad. Like, Eddie launches into this masturbatory shit about how cool his villain team are and how epic their reactions to them were. And it's like, Eddie, save this for after the recording, like I do, if you're gonna do this.
Well, like, I'm sitting here being like, oh yeah, I'd make the joke of like, haha, I was so waiting to see how you felt when Umeboshi, like, revealed his plan. But I'm just like, that doesn't work, because Noah's things were cool, and it's like, yeah, he is excited to see us be like, oh, Pog, it's like a cool villain twist, and I'm like, Pog, I fucking hate that guy, unironically. It's not even a fun style of hate, I just hate him.
Eddie's just saying, I loved your faces when I fucked you guys over, is all he says. And they're like, yeah. And that is what the episode fades out on, is Eddie talking himself up. I'm like, dude, Eddie, I'm glad you're vibing. Bad reason, though.
Not the play.
Alright, Liam, you're on...
Episode 6! Heroes by a Landslide. Sheath Me.
Both of these titles are awful.
Sheath Me is so fucking bad.
What the fuck is
Sheath Me? It's a quote from the episode.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. You know what Sheath Me is? It's if I named an episode, Get On.
Oh no!
I love
a fun little quote. I'd like to. Oh, sorry, Blake. You want to go here?
Well, I love how that 5e game I ran. It wasn't the best, but I love that it just gave that moment as the last fucking thing that happened. God bless you, Nathan.
In the brief interlude before these episodes, a quick little story. I'm sure we've quoted it in some of the episodes on either New Dawn Pirates or Records of Remnant. There's a very classic moment near and dear to Blake and I's heart. I don't remember if Liam was here. I know Ben definitely wasn't. Okay, Liam was here for a 5th edition game Blake ran a long time ago. One of his first things he ever tried to do in D&D. And our friend Nathan, who you might know briefly from his time in New Dawn Pirates early on before he had to stop making the sessions.
Fan favorite?
Was an autistic interpretation of how D&D movement works, where it's segmented by turns. But everyone knows in D&D that in 5th edition and general D&D systems, and most systems of the same variety, work off the rule that a round of combat is generally assumed to be about 6 seconds of actions that aren't actually happening in Final Fantasy turn order. They're happening in... That's just the best way people have managed in D&D to segment these. And because of this amazing interpretation that Nathan had an NPC who he was trying to escape with in the context of fucking over the rest of the party, because of course that's something Nathan would be interested in doing. He said an NPC ran up to his character to close a gap between them and was out of movement. And he said, I would like to tell the NPC to get on my back so I can run out and jump out the window with him on my turn next turn. And we have forever been stuck on this idea of Nathan genuinely going, I wish to piggyback ride, movement lock us into a loop of abusing the turn system of a fucking tabletop obfuscation of all real-time action. So Get On is my favorite joke because it's so simple and stupid. The idea of, in a moment, a character being like, I'll pick you up and carry you because you're out of movement points. That's literally what happened.
I would like to add on. So, Nathan's character and the NPC jumped out the window because I was so done with this.
One to spare you.
And that was the last thing that happened in that game. It did not continue. It ended after that. I was mind broken. The next game I ran was years later, New Dawn Pirates.
High school D&D is bad. You just get into fights with your friends when someone autistically splits the party again, and you're like, okay, well, this is kind of just getting annoying.
Yeah.
And then people are just like, yeah, I don't really care.
Yeah, and you have to ask, oh, Blake, if Nathan did that, why'd you invite him to New Dawn Pirates? Well...
It was literally years later.
It was years later, and he's still better than most of our other friends at D&D.
Let's fucking go.
I agree. You should bring him back.
Yeah, let's get
not for New Dawn Pirates necessarily.
You should play Gwen.
Yeah, he can play Gwen.
Oh my god! Holy shit!
Gwen,
actually,
Gwen McFaggot Aranea.
Awesome. Dude. We're not
whoa.
explaining that one.
She's part fairy.
Hold on, Blake, I got you. Faunus. All right, you can cut it.
Just edit that. Just edit that in.
So, Sheaf Me. Episode starts off immediately with the running theme of the first half. Fuck Carrie, lol! Fuck Carrie, lol! This is the one episode.
Hold on. Well, is this episode 6 or 5?
No. This is episode 6, and I want to say something. I have to say this. This pisses me off to no end. This is what mind broke us. I remember the first time we watched this shit, and I remember specifically Blake and I having the same reaction of, oh my god, it was 30 minutes of rolling from this avalanche. They just kept rolling for 30 minutes. About the same.
I have in my notes about halfway through. This is just episode 1, but horizontal.
Holy shit, that's
so based, Liam. To jump on this train of hating this section, I did my usual business of scanning the RWBY Wiki articles on these episodes. The RWBY Wiki episode for this recap for this episode has 6 paragraphs. This segment is only half of the first paragraph. They buff out the last quarter of this episode into like 6 paragraphs. The RWBY Wiki just goes, allow me to summarize this entire first segment. Following the landslide from the previous episode, the group manages to save Daft from falling into the rocks as they maneuver themselves around the collapsing mountain pass, finally reaching a clearing. That's it.
Can I also...
My notes were way better. Can I read my notes?
Well, hold on. Can I also call dibsies on talking about my favorite character during this section?
Of course. Liam, go.
Yeah, my notes for the section were 20 pog pog pog, 20 pog pog pog, 1 oh no 20 pog pog pog, 20 pog pog pog, 1 oh no. What did Chris mean when he said fire to Carrie? Chad said he knew what he meant, but Carrie didn't. What the fuck is he talking about? 20 pog pog pog. This is just episode 1, but horizontal. 20 pog pog pog. Those are the only notes I took for that whole section.
That is literally more coherent than the descriptions of this interaction.
I did have Poggy's natty 20 written down in my
I have a picture of them pogging. And I want to point out that in the context of this first pog, the first skill roll that's a crit, I think. Because I think I stopped caring about keeping track of them after this. It is a skill roll. Asher is doing a thing where he's using Hard Like Dust and his Fortune's Fang, splitting them up to do like a zip line for people to grab onto. Kind of cool use of your weapon. I like that. And Eddie is like, give me a strength check to see if you can anchor the blade in a wall. A complete fuck off, Eddie. I already did a skill check to set this up. And spent dust. Fuck you. Oh, I got a 20 to dig my knife into the ground. Whoa, dude, thanks. My Poggy 20 was well spent. Could you fucking imagine? That's like asking for a roll to open a fucking door. I hate Eddie.
Yeah, Ben, give me a balance check.
Balance check. You walked into the room.
Okay, I'm gonna roll. My face goes dark as I look at the one on my table. And I literally screech as my legs twist into a pretzel and I fall on the ground.
And you hear Chris in the background clapping, going, "Yes, yeah, get fucked back." No, Chris is on something. Chris is on something different this episode. There is many times where Chris is like clapping and chimping out at another player's failure. Chris has gone psycho mode. I think after the smoke, I literally think he got black-pilled after the team smoke interaction. And throughout this entire segment, it's just like, fuck you, Carrie, yeah! Fuck you! literally, I cannot stop saying I hate Carrie every time I bring him up. I'm getting uncomfortable being like, Chad, like, what the fuck? Like, Carrie's not even doing anything bad right now. This is Bizarro World. Can you, like, give him a second, dude? Like, I know it's a joke, but it's really kind of...
Well, like, even I was a bit uncomfortable, and I fucking hate Carrie. But, like, even I was uncomfortable because they literally do open the episode with, like, 5 full minutes of everyone making fun of him to the point where, well, they were giving the recap. Eddie stops and is like, hold on, can you reiterate, like, what are the names of the 3 players that actually were useful last combat? There was someone else. Can you say him?
Like, Carrie is an obnoxious.
I'm not joking. He did that.
It is so weird. Like, and they're playing it up for a joke, and so is Carrie. So, I mean, no respect for himself here, because obviously you can't, like, take yourself seriously. But, like, Jesus Christ, it's like, guys, I'm not fucking laughing.
Well, it's just, it's like done to an almost weird degree, because it goes on for way too fucking long. Like, the moment Eddie, like, stops the recap to reiterate the joke again, is just like, guys, just make, like, the joke once and then stop. This is, like, getting kind of psychotic, don't you think? But if we're speaking... Can
please bring up Rostra's first moment?
Oh my god. Okay.
This is one of my favorite ones.
So, Rostra is on the Daft saving duty. She's closest to him, so she's trying to save him. But she does hit us with a pretty good line of, honestly, none of us care about Daft.
Meta-wise, just like to Eddie's face.
Rostra is an actual sociopath. She then makes the joke a bit later. But
the reaction from the other players is, I kind of like Daft. So cringe. But
a little later, she also makes a joke of like, this is like a bad situation. People might get hurt. And like, I like 2 of the people I'm with.
No, this quote is so much better. That is a good part. She's like, I like 2 of the people I'm with. Cut to Carrie going, oh, that could be Pike, yes! As a little retard clap boy. But she also starts it off with, you know, at this point, Rostra's kind of starting to feel bad about the pilot. I'm sorry? You're just now in this landslide in the midst of, right now, off in the background, Carrie is failing and being denied the opportunity to do a cool combo maneuver because Chad is being a degenerate asshole to him this episode. Rostra is having a thought bubble where she's actively going, damn, you know, I kind of, you know, we just let that guy die that first episode, a couple days ago. I feel bad about that. Hello!
Okay, so I'm currently watching Mindhunters, a show about serial killers on Netflix. It's very good.
And he won't shut the fuck up about it. Go ahead.
Really seriously, what is up with you?
It's really good. I'm really enjoying it. No.
Sponsored?
No.
You're sponsored.
But what I wanted to say is, one of the serial killers in there makes like makes a comment when he's describing like his first like kill that he lets someone go. It's like his 4th victim, and he lets them go because they break down crying saying their father has cancer, and he's just like, yeah, my brother had cancer, so I just decided to let her go. It's kind of fucked up, you know, showing mercy. And it's like, I'm just like, like later when I watch this episode, I'm like, is that fucking like what Rostra's having right now? She's like, shit, it's kind of It's kind of fucked up, you know? Caring about that guy dying?
Maybe Laura's base, and she's just portraying Faunus as an animalistic, simplistic, psychopathic people.
It's like, is Rostra a sociopath?
Literally.
You know, like the whole time, I have a similar situation. The whole time I've been watching Sopranos, I just started watching that. And the whole time I was watching the episode, I was thinking, man, I'd rather be doing that.
Hey, Tom, you seen this Faunus girl? She's got like cat legs or something. Ain't that fucked up?
Where's Pepper Ann?
Wait, you telling me Faunus are real? I thought they made that up for a movie.
You mean that Lagoons?
I can't believe it. I can't believe it, Com. She brought a Faunus home. She brought a Faunus home, Com.
Tony, what's so bad about that?
He's nice. He's nice. He has a 4.0 GPA. He has all the honors.
GPA. He's also got a fucking tail, Com.
Hey, listen. I work with Faunus, but you know what? They don't want my daughter. I don't want my daughters dating them. And they don't want their daughters dating.
And tell me, he has a tail, but then those antlers. One trait. One trait!
Right. They always say one trait, but they always got two, Calm. Explain that!
Explain that! Calm, have you ever looked at crime statistics?
Yeah, but... Well, sorry, we'll get into lawyers and crime scenarios later.
Tone, you're not gonna believe it. They're rolling natural successes on 20s for skill checks. Get the fuck out of here!
Get out of here!
No, I'm serious, Tone.
Tony, he fucked you, you know? He rolled a 1. He rolled a 1. Tony, he didn't roll a 1, he rolled a 20. He rolled a 20?
Tony, you're kind of breaking up. Alright, I'm gonna keep this serious. His name's the Taskmaster. He was a former huntsman. He's killed 19 people.
A huntsman?
He was a miner, and he killed 19 people. His cave looked like shit. I can't fucking... This episode sucks. Like, we said these were some of the worst episodes.
Honestly...
Now, we tried to summarize the last one, but literally, okay, actually 30 minutes of various actions as rocks are falling in this avalanche. And it is fucking 33 or so minutes.
Literally go watch the first episode for free that you can, but then tilt your monitor to the side, and then you're watching this episode.
And then watch it a second time over. Eddie is doing, fucking pretzel rolls with his hands to try and help visualize what's happening for some... There's a point where Eddie's, doing sign language, being yeah, so Pike's, below you, and then Asher's here, so, I guess that's possible. And, Eddie's trying to get, really litigious with, what actions they can do in this. At one point... Sorry.
I would like to say, remember, Eddie's describing every action they take for them, but also... Eddie's yeah, you let Kingdom Hearts run across the rocks?
Smash cut to A saying that kind of be unrealistic from this angle. At one point, Pike asks if I can do, a maneuver, where I, run and drill rocks to, break them so they don't fall on me and Asher. And Eddie, in an amazing face turn, goes, it's you know what? I don't think that should be strength or dex. That should probably be athletics, because it kind of has bits of both in it, you know? And I don't know how to describe how shook I am, because I forgot he made this declaration here. Eddie, how the fuck are you just getting that you use skills now? Smash cut delay in the episode, yeah, give me a strength roll, dig that knife in. Awesome, Eddie. Fuck yeah. Eddie also at one point, in a slightly good DM moment, that I will renege on in a moment here, a little bit down the line, says, you know, guys, in case you forgot, for skill rolls, you can spend 2 aura to have advantage on them. You guys are just, letting these fail. You can do that. And everyone's oh. No one remembers this. It's there are only so many aura rolls, guys. Oh my fucking god. I'm going off our rant here. Does anyone else want to take up a point in this rockfall?
Well, to add on to that, it's also kind of broken with how they played it this episode. They could just do it after they rolled for the first time.
Yes!
And it's not advantage, it's fucked us in the first dice roll.
It's fucking
also
ridiculous.
Advantage if the second one's bad.
Fuck this episode.
There is a comment in the RWBY comments going Eddie, that was kind of I don't know about that one. That's kind of busted. You might need to rebalance that. And Eddie responded yeah, after the first time I realized it was busted, but I didn't know if I should say that at the time. I'm Eddie was too awkward to say, oh, I think it's probably a bad idea to let you guys do that. He literally spaghetti just went, yeah, you guys could be broken the whole session. You know, when I realized I probably did a rule wrong, I make sure to note, oh, I don't know if that's a good idea, but since I ruled on it, I'll let you do it this time, and then, by next time, I'll come back to you with the rules on it. But no, Eddie's just, spaghetti, I can't say I got it wrong. I'm the GM. I can't lose control of the situation.
I'll show him I'm
not perfect. I'll show him not perfect.
The players will eat me alive if I show weakness.
So, Carrie's unironically doing good this episode. Carrie is... Because Carrie's got the mind of a child. But that lends itself well to RWBY choreography scenes. Because Carrie, Everyone else is being like, shit, I gotta like bunker down and like think of something real. And meanwhile, Carrie and Chris are being like, Chris is like, I go fucking Hulk mode and smash rocks. And Carrie's like, dude, I do like a cool drill maneuver. And like, Carrie at one point, it literally says, I would like to make this as RWBY as possible. As he's describing that after Asher did something, he wants to be able to like catch his knife midair, swing with the gravity dust, like after he had swung his knife and it's flown up in the air from the hook shot, like Ropey did. He wants to catch it as it's unhooking and swing himself and I believe Arostra and Daff forward at that moment. You know, like a cool moment in a RWBY fight where there's teamwork utilized in this seamless way that kind of transitions into an interesting thing. You know, like the only thing, one of the only points this series had going for itself at the start, where people are pulled in by like, man, these fight scenes are really interesting and layered with cool, numerous actions and things that are taken. And Carrie, you know, when you hear I'm making it as RWBY as possible, your first thought is shitty, but your second thought is, oh, he means like cool fight scenes. And that's what Carrie's trying to do here. Eddie hears that and goes, I'm going to make the DC harder because that's too ridiculous. And then Chad goes in here with an absolute buster move because Chad just says, I hate Carrie this episode, and goes, yeah, that Team Unison move's cool, but I don't think Asher would have fought to do that in character, so it's probably not like that.
It's
and
so base.
And then Carrie, or Pike, fire! Right? Okay, we're at Pike fire, right?
Fire!
Fire! William, you were commenting on this before. Do you want to get into this one?
What did he mean by fire if not to put the drill behind him and fire to launch them further? Because that's what Carrie does, but apparently that's not what he meant, and Chad also knew that wasn't what Chris meant, because he said it, and I was like, what the fuck are they talking about now? Do you know what he means?
I have no idea. And so the context to get a little more specific is Chris is doing this also cringe thing where he's trying to be like, okay, like I gotta make sure Phoenix doesn't seem too competent here because he's losing his cool. Which, I mean, sure, you can play into your character's flaws sometimes, but I just hate, like, he's doing a better job than fucking Chris or Chad being just like, well, I didn't think of that. I don't want a cool moment to happen. At least he's trying to do something cool in the moment with his flaw, where he's like, Phoenix is kind of losing it, and he's going into, like, protection mode. Like, he wants to save Pike. He's not really thinking too much further. And so he's, like, hulked out. So when he's talking as Phoenix, he's making him talk, like, short and old growly, and keeps going, like, in this epic lion roar. But fair enough, Chris. You're into your character. I like your enthusiasm. And he tells Pike to fire, and Carrie misunderstands it, apparently. Chad claims he understood it, and when Carrie goes, oh, not that then, Chad goes, no, you said you were doing it, roll! Like, demonic, you took your hand off the piece, Carrie! As Chad is cackling to himself, and Chris looks so pissed off, and Carrie looks downtrodden, as Chad is laughing and cackling that he has convinced Eddie to force them to do a maneuver that they didn't want to do, apparently. It is so weird.
It's a power move.
It's a power move.
What else does fire mean?
What does he mean? Did he want him to make a fire below them that would create a heat rise so they could fucking air balloon away? I don't know what he means.
Do you want to fire in front of them? Was anything in front of them?
Did he want to fire to, like, destroy some rocks?
I don't know. It was all theater of the mind, so I don't actually know what was in front of them.
Oh yeah, there's no indication of, like, on a board of people moving down a cliff face or anything to be like, you guys have this much distance to go or something. No, it's all theater of the mind. So it's completely You cannot tell, like, how long the sequence is lasting, or they have no idea how much they have to go through. There's no build-up. It will just end suddenly at one point. Off of this point, Carrie says, like, I'm going to spend aura to try this again so I don't completely fuck it up. And they're like, damn, Pike, you gotta be careful. You're spending a lot of aura. And Carrie rightfully goes, like, no, I'm fine, actually. Like, I'm completely fine. And I have to talk about aura points here, because we're finally seeing them get a lot of use this episode. And a lot of good use, because I don't know if you guys have played D&D 5th Edition, the viewers. But advantage is a very simple thing. I'm sure we've explained it before. It's you get to roll 2 dice and take the higher one. They've talked about, I'm sure you've heard of 5th edition. It's very common in the media now. So being able to spend 2 aura points you can get a skill advantage on any skill roll, anytime. It's pretty good. So you hear that and you go, okay, so like how limited are aura points and what do they actually scale off of? So one, I'll tell you, I have no idea what aura points actually scale off of.
I think it's HP.
You'd think that, but I've looked at all the character sheets and that doesn't make sense by what they have. Everyone in the podcast presently, can you guess how many aura points Pike has? Or would you like to maybe guess like the general amount of aura points people have in general?
15.
Okay.
I'm going to go with 20. 25.
25 a high end or low end? Average?
I'm going to go with average.
Okay.
I'm going to go with 20.
Yeah. So,
but Arastra's probably like a dust build, so she probably is less.
Okay. Yeah, dust is another thing that's counted for some people. I don't know. I think that's like spell slots. Okay, so you guys were all right because you kind of am tied. Like Pike has 18 aura points. I believe these come back at short or long rest. It's one of the two. I forget which one.
Holy shit!
Yeah. And it's full resurgence. So that off the bat is like 9. If you're just doing skills, that's like 9 reroll or advantages. And in this instance, in a bit of error, Eddie's letting them do it after they do their initial result instead of like spending before to gain advantage. I believe they can do advantage on attack roll. No, they get a second attack. That's what happens. So Pike is the second highest amount of aura at 18. I looked at all the stats, and I can't figure out if any stats are actually balancing aura points. Arastra has the most at 21. If we were assuming it was HP, that makes no sense, because Arastra just has 10 con, while Pike has 16. So, like, cannot figure it out. Like, the intellect, Pike has slightly more intelligence, Arastra has, like, more wisdom. But the problem with that is what comes next. When you look at how much Asher and Phoenix have. Asher and Phoenix both only have fucking 9 aura points. What the fuck? Why is there such... That is literally half of carries. And less than half of Arastra's. What is the difference here?
Yeah, that's baffling to me.
It is fucking baffling!
You know what it is? I just realized it has to be. It has to go off of intelligence, wisdom, or charisma, because those two are more castery. So I think it goes off. Probably goes
all of them. Allow me to get a little intellectual and calculative and like put down numbers. I know we hate numbers. Yeah. Here's Pike's intelligent. We're going to go off the general lining system for how stats work in D&D. So it goes intelligence, wisdom, charisma. Here are Pike's. 15 intelligence, 11 wisdom, 9 charisma.
What the fuck? Those are some shitty stats.
We will read out the stats probably. Today's probably a good episode for it. I can read out all the stats for these guys, but I just want to go on this point. Here are a roster stat line in the mental stats. 14 intelligence, 16 wisdom, 8 charisma. So instantly you're like, okay, there's really not much of a differential there. Here is Asher's stats. Asher has 11 int, 10 wisdom, and 15 charisma. So now, debunked immediately. There's no way it's going off mental stats. Asher has a decently similar lineup. He has 9 to 18 at Pike. Look at those stat differentials. There is nothing there. Pike has cumulatively less mental stats than Asher. So there's no way it can be mental stats. And for reference, even though I've already proved my point, Phoenix is coming out with a cool 8, 9, and 14. Awesome. He's a fucking brain-dead barbarian. We know this. So, no, it has nothing to do with mental. It has nothing to do with physical stats from what I can understand. The only fucking thing I can imagine is maybe there's some behind-the-scenes balancing that is with maybe, like, weapon abilities. Because I know Asher and Phoenix both have, like, weapon abilities. But then I go back to look at a roster and Pike, and they both technically have weapon abilities. Like, Pike has the digging thing, and roster has all her dust.
I figured it out.
What is it?
What is the common denominator?
I don't know. Are the people higher up in the company?
No. It's actually really obvious once you think about it.
Let's hear it. I can hear your joking voice. Let's hear it.
So Phoenix and Asher, went to Shade Academy, as Pike did also for 1 year, which is
my
why
God.
their aura is shittier.
It's based on the academy.
That is why she has the highest, because she did not go to Shade Academy at all. Pike has slightly higher than they do, because he only went there for a year.
See? I told you Shade was garbage. Oh god, I haven't heard one voice in years.
Base.
That was bad.
No, that was
He's
epic,
bringing
dude.
it back. He's bringing it
The-
back.
That was probably your best. Okay.
Felix, aren't we kind of fucked?
Aren't we fucked?
Yeah.
Felix, Skipper,
Hey,
fuck you.
Why are aura points and health points, which are also HP parentheses aura points, different stats? Okay, so we are taking these time to do. Let's look at mechanical things. So here's Pike's sheet. Would you ever feel like popping these up in the episode? I'm sure our fans will appreciate. Here's a Rostra's sheet. Here's Asher's sheet, and here is Nemian's Phoenix's sheet. I don't know how to explain this besides I could look at these for hours and keep finding new ways that I feel like these are weird and out of touch with each other and feel like they were all made up in different ways. Like just the fact that Phoenix has more than like double HP than most of the party, like just baffles me. Like I don't know where they come up with these fucking stat lines. He only has 13 con. Pike has 16 con. Pike has 13 HP, so he's 10 plus free. This is level 1, I believe these are being shown at. Unless Phoenix's came out way later, but I don't think it did. And then Phoenix is like 24 HP. They both show 10 hit die on the thing. Did he just get an extra hit die when he started?
Maybe they rolled.
That is still impossible.
No.
That's still baffling to me.
Oh, maybe they rolled a D20 for
Look at these. Look at these fucking stat lines. They are crazy. No one has anything higher than a plus free, and that's being generous. Like, people, these are like commoner, like above average stats. These are like weird NPC stat ones. These are not player character ones.
Oh, I got it. This will actually be easier than just putting up on the screen, so people would have to pause. I'll just put an Imgur link in the description for just all 4 of them in like a little album. That way you listening can just open that and then actually look at them as we're talking.
Sure, yeah. Like, I know this is getting a little more nitty-gritty than our normal, like, actual analysis, which is normally on, like, role-playing and shit. But this is that part where I park and go, like, I cannot decipher, like, how messy these characters seem to be. Like, so much of this makes no fucking sense to me. Like, people who don't know the system, balancing characters by a DM who clearly doesn't know how to balance anything. And it just leads to these messes of characters, but it doesn't matter because all they care about is rolling 20s and 1s. They literally should be flipping a coin for every action. Because if it's not that, they don't give a fuck, dude. They don't give a fuck.
Poggies.
Does anyone have anything they'd like to comment else on these besides like how weird the stats are and stuff? Or should we continue along and free ourselves from Rock Jail? Because I think we're good with Rock Jail after this.
I wanted to see what proficiencies they had.
Yes.
Okay, Mike has an Arcana proficiency. What the fuck?
What the fuck is Arcana?
Is it Dust? I guess it's Dust.
Rostra doesn't have it, so that makes no sense. Then.
Okay, well, it's a fucking meme.
I would say it's Dust, but what the fuck do you mean, Arcana?
She actually has.
If Eddie ever asks for an Arcana check, I'll lose my fucking mind.
She actually has it written down by color and not type.
I remember having
shit.
I remember saying like, it's very funny to me in that One Piece conversion that they keep Arcana, but they're just like, yeah, it's for like devil fruit magic shit. Like, okay, like you could just say fine, Arcana's like magic dust, the weird abilities there. I could be like, okay, fine, I guess.
Why does a roster have 5 proficiencies and everyone else?
I don't know.
Everyone else has 4.
Why does a roster just have better stats than everyone else?
I don't know.
Weird.
She does.
Because weird, huh?
Oh, Faunuses get plus 10 move speed Wow.
Yeah, Faunuses get plus 10 move speed, baby.
Felix reads yep.
Why? No. That has to be in a roster thing. That can't.
No,
Phoenix has it
Phoenix
too.
also gets
Yeah, Ben, I think you can complain to Noah.
Yeah.
No, he already gave me the fucking glow-in-the-dark shit.
I mean, I have to say that also Phoenix, just as a passive, has your Faunus traits give you advantage on non-combat strength checks. What the fuck? Like, we were joking about how Rostra's thing is like, cool, you have super jump. That's fucking crazy. On all strength checks?
God, why would you just not be a fucking Faunus?
What do humans get? What do humans get?
Before
Nothing.
I get a feat. Well,
Incorrect, sir. Feats don't exist. Yep, it is just bizarre. Just bizarre, everyone. Cool system you guys came up with. Wink at camera. All right, so Raquel.
I think we're out.
We're out of Raquel. Eventually, it just stops. Like I said, they just stop at one point.
I love that they're like, oh, you run away, and of course Eddie has to make them do one last fucking dex check to get out. One last check, dude. Fuck off.
One last check for some pog.
All right. Authentic pog.
So they hit the ground, and who do they immediately run into, Liam?
Your boy, Alistair.
Alabaster.
And Alistair
about
and the
40
city
guards. And about 40 guys with guns.
And the castle guard.
And the castle guards. Hey, Liam, do the guards act like thinking human beings here? Do they act like literal meme caricature cop bad?
Yes.
The characters end up here. I want to point out one of my favorite parts of this moment is they're suspicious of them after coming down a landslide with an injured town's guardman Daff here, and Eddie makes this little snide comment as they're talking about how this looks suspicious, and he goes, because Daff's still tied up, guys. Like these guys had been given an opportunity to untie Daff in this entire time. And Eddie is smugly saying, like, you guys could have helped prevent this by untying him. Like, Eddie, are you fucking for real? You're gonna bust their balls because they went down a landslide and didn't untie him.
Yep. Should have expected it.
So yeah, guys, are they arrested?
Well, what happens is they expertly try and talk their way out of the situation by literally saying nothing of value that would even possibly convince anybody that they didn't just collapse a mountain and kidnap a guy.
And then they go, dude, I have a photo. And Alabaster goes, oh, cool. Takes the scroll and goes, anyway, we're arresting you. Awesome. Literally, IRL streamers have better explanations for their actions than Team Nothing does here.
They didn't even say, like, oh, Team Smoke blew up the mountain and beat this guy up and we saved him. They didn't say, literally, the truth, that they have no reason to hide.
Like, they explained to Daff, and Daff wasn't alone before with other guards, like, why we're going out there. Did Daff not tell anyone?
Well,
In fact... Now that we think about it,
when the
fuck was Daff kidnapped?
Like, right after they left. Because
like literally it's kind of like, Dumbledore, right? You know how like every time he's off screen, he's,
But all I'm gonna...
I won't repeat it, but...
Liam, it's very obvious why they didn't tell Alabaster any of this. Because you're not supposed to tell the sheriff what happened in the well. You and the doctor have to stay quiet.
I can't tell him what happened! No!
Am I wearing pants? No, you haven't put them back on.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah,
if you want some actual role-playing, go watch Funny Gargura do her role-playing with Callie.
Yes, please. It's very much better than this show. Jesus fucking Christ. It is so baffling that they're like suspicious of Alabaster, or I don't even think they were trying to be like suspicious of them. I think they were literally too stupid to explain what was happening. So they just get awkward. There's a funny joke where Pike's like, "I'm not going to talk," so Carrie faces away from the camera. Sorry, I said funny and didn't laugh there. I think you could pick up on the me saying that was really fucking dumb. And the guards are just like complete belligerent, like psychopath, no logic. We're gonna treat you like shit.
Noah.
Yeah.
He has to move them to the next scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have to go to the prison.
They have to go to prison. Fuck the police. Police are bad. They are go into prison. At one point, they're just like, yeah, you're in different prison cells. At one point, Pike is trying to ask one of the guards how Daff is doing. And the guard literally spits on him and goes, "Daff's my friend, he better not be dead because of you."
What the fuck? I didn't think we were far enough in a relationship for that.
What the fuck is happening? Why is this like suddenly like Game of Thrones epic edgy like guards come in to beat you up and rape you in prison? What is Eddie's
That's
role?
not what happened, but...
That's what
Eddie
so what does the roster do as the most intelligent?
So he says that, like, he was my friend. Then hard cuts to Arastra, who's like, I want to signal with my glasses to make the light use Morse code to send a signal to... I don't even know who the fuck she's trying to send a message to.
Other prisoners! Rape the prisoners off screen is what she's doing. Eddie cuts in like a genius to say, yeah, there's no Morse code in Remnant.
Babe.
Why not?
Base.
Why not? Did you invent telephones without any trouble? What the fuck, Eddie? Yo, okay,
You're being a little hard on him.
No, I want to kill him. I talked about in Minecraft.
Ooh,
I talked about last episode a bit of like implications of world building differences that would come about from Dust. I want a little dumb rant about it on my interest in the setting. There's nothing that Dust would do outside of powering that would affect telecommunications. There's no Dust that would help like that. What? With Dust, it carries words? Is that how CCT towers at work, Eddie? Do they project wind words? Why the fuck would they not have had to go through the process of basic telecommunication like a fucking telegram messaging system to need Morse code? How the fuck did they skip that? How did they figure out a way around that? Was someone's semblance, I know how to make telephones?
Now hold on, we could give Eddie the benefit of the doubt, and what he meant was that he doesn't have a name for it yet, which is still admittedly retarded.
But no, what he means is he clarifies very quickly, no, there's no Morse code. Don't worry, there's a miner code. Miners invented things with like signaling lights in the to communicate with each other in mine.
Okay, hold on. Can I go in on this? Where they're walking. They're walking, and it's like, oh.
No, we're not done. Hold on. Okay, fine. You can talk about this. I want to talk more about Miner's Code, but go ahead.
Well, no. It's like a roster. You see a fox faunus that looks at you seductively, and it's just like, oh, that look like a miner. They know miners can't. But also, I'm sitting here being like, man, Eddie, couldn't you just, I don't know, I fucking said fuck her roster because she doesn't do anything and is the worst character in the fucking game by far. And I don't know, maybe made this Faunus in jail. Something related to Phoenix's backstory he already tried to show an interest in.
Yeah, like Faunus's and White Fang activity. Why couldn't it be White Fang guy?
No, it's a minor because like
there
are miners in every town, and
I was gonna say Miner Code. Oh, Rooster Teeth and miners. Oh no, bros.
Hey, now watch it.
Oh my god! Like everything about this, it pissed me off the same way, Blake. One of the things, Laura's reaction is pisses me off so much because Laura goes, "Can I roll to remember if I know this person?" Are you fucking for real? What? Where's your brain that you think Eddie would show you a character and you'd have to say, "I want to roll to remember to see if I know"?
That only would work for Asher, really, right? Like,
even
then, that's still kind of iffy.
Then you say, "Is this someone I recognize?"
Yeah, not I
I'm
will
asking the DM to
remember.
roll for things. Tell them what you want.
Fuck, and he's like, yeah, it's a local mining company that you know somehow, even though I don't think you're even from the area.
No, all miners know each other.
All miners know each other. All miners know each other. They have miner code. Eddie thinks there's a world where miners invent telecommunication methods through flashlights is more reasonable than people having to make up a method of communicating before corrected and like perfected audio communication. Like, that's the world he lives in. Like, oh, bruh, they're using flashlights? Eddie, at this point, I have to ask, like, what technology is Dust inventing and what technology does Dust supersede? What the fuck? Are Dust mines that fucking dark? Yes, correct answer. They are dark. But, like, I don't know. What the fuck are you talking about? Why is it complicated enough to ask a question? You know what question Arastra asks? Apropos of nothing, as she's sitting in a jail cell, as she asks to literal random prisoners. She flashes on the lights. Eddie describes miner code as communicating a mine shaft. She flashes on the light with the wall with using her glasses to refract, I guess, like a beam of sunlight that is perfectly strewn into her cell. Don't know how she fucking did that. That
she's got the window cell because she's lucky.
Yeah, why would it shine off and be like a perfect Legend of Zelda bean? And how would you do that as a flashlight? She throwing her hand over and doing shadow puppets? She asked, "Who can we trust in this town?" What fucking words do miners need to say that in their code? Did they just code the alphabet in flashes? Oh, so it is Morse code. Fuck off, Eddie. Why did miners invent Morse code? So, Arastra asks random prisoners, who can we trust? Because I know I would take all my best advice from fucking drug addicts in a Mistral back alley jail cell. And randomly, another guy responds, clearly taking his glasses to flash back from his window cell back to her cell. You can trust Takaya. Thanks, bro.
Can I just say it's very derivative of that one time that I had to break into jail in Blake's game. Very derivative. I did not like that he copied that, but I'll let him go on this.
Did that old man just spit up a key to a Gayasaur?
Here you go, a map to my treasure.
We'll never talk about it. It's fine. Maybe we will, and it'll be funny. This whole segment, that whole interaction feels like a fever dream. That it worked. Like, Arastra is just like, I do the most retarded thing ever. And Eddie's like, Mistress, I will allow you to get the best answer out of this. I need you to trust Takaya. Why are you listening to fucking prisoners?
This guy's name's Sakai. I don't trust him.
Everything worked out perfectly, though. Don't worry. Anyway, why are they called out of the jail cell, guys? Why are they allowed to move out of their jail cell?
Well, they're lawyers here.
The lawyer, dude.
Lawyers here.
They lawyered up.
So they were brought out into a jail cell, from their jail cell, into this whole group. And in front of them, Eddie says, sorry, this is one detail Eddie's put in here that I just wanted to say because I almost forgot it, and I remembered it in the recap. He said the bars of this prison have lightning dust in them, and they can hold even the most capable huntsman.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
What?
So is Alabaster, like, not the real sheriff, or is he? Because that seems like a lot of funding for a guy who's not exactly liked.
Sheriff does.
This is the part where I have to admit, even I don't remember what the justification for Alabaster acting this sus is. Because I'll tell you guys, Alabaster's not like I don't remember, and if I'm wrong, you can laugh at me, I guess. I'm pretty fucking sure it's not like Alabaster's working with any of the gangs and fucking them over. He's just randomly doing this.
He's just retarded.
He's just bad because he's a cop. Anyway, Alabaster's like, yeah, you have your lawyer, and they go out. Into the processing area. And they're like, there's a smooth-looking guy there, because I wouldn't want to describe him at all. And the first thing he does makes me just want to fucking kill myself, because Eddie plays into Alabaster's meekness immediately, and I'm like, why are you doing this, his character? What does he do? You know what he does?
No, I turned it off by now.
Nice.
Yeah, I was already done with the episode, I think.
The strange lawyer man just goes, B6 sunk your bomber, Alabaster. You've sunk my I turned go fish. Area code 415. You have to leave, and I talk to these people in private. And Alabaster goes, oh, fuck, I can't read. Yeah, that sounds real. He goes like 394 point section F of the Huntsman bylaw, question mark. What do you mean Huntsman bylaw? Says I have, like, clients, like, privacy privileges.
Okay, hold on. No, this brings up a point I want to ask you.
Yeah.
They're like fucking like what's the legal system?
Don't know, man. Eddie's implying here that there's a Huntsman-centric legal system.
Yeah, where I'm like, I didn't assume I assumed everywhere had their own
legal system. Yeah,
and it's like, okay, Shade or Vacuo, whatever the fuck, just don't die.
Literally don't.
You fuck with people, they fuck with you back. Don't be eye for an eye shit.
Mistral has a lot of crimes in the open. Perfect for a brazen sword to make their kind of living there.
Mistral, I was assuming it's the fucking emperor makes the law and you follow the law or you
have
get
you
fucked.
Heard of Japan?
And then I don't know, Atlas is the one that probably actually have
Yeah, you
legal
don't
shit.
know.
Atlas is a democracy. Republic.
Yeah, and then Vale is the king makes the laws, and it's there might
Britain,
be
there's a councilman.
Yeah, there would be some representation stuff, but it wouldn't literally be you call up your fucking lawyer, you call up Saul, and get him to represent you for your unscrupulous living. Better call Saul.
Well, I mean, yeah, we are stuck in the infinite cycle of the RWBY people, on one hand, presenting life some places as if they're in a medieval role-playing game, and then on other, just being law at San Francisco! They cannot figure out...
I get drunk, girls!
They cannot figure out how civilization is. They cannot figure it out. It is just so insane. And I'm just presented with an assumption that either there's some law in Mistral that Huntsmen are just more privileged than normal people, or Eddie's implying there's a universal law system that governs Huntsmen? Question mark?
Yeah.
Literally, Eddie was coming up with shit on the spot.
Felix, we gotta get a lawyer to represent us in court.
And only
That's awesome.
Alabaster, or only Arostra is given the chance to roll to see if Alabaster has just been fed a lie. I mean, literally all these guys went to Huntsman school. They would probably all have had an education on this topic, but, it's Arostra. She's a, it's Arostra. Need I say more?
Sorry, boys.
Yeah, so all the cops and everyone leave the fucking room.
You like that one, Blake?
All the cops leave the room, and this guy goes, because Eddie keeps saying this guy's suave and cool, but he does his awkward, uncomfortable laugh. So this guy comes across as a penny-pinching, weirdo who's, rubbing his, neck and, wrist all the time, trying to be smooth and cool. He goes, so you've been flashing my coin around all the time, and we're introduced to the fucking Taskmaster.
Can I also say, everyone, thank God you're not actually watching this because we told you multiple times not to.
Whenever you are.
This is so painful because it's literally just the end of this episode. The last fucking quarter of it is Eddie giving a fucking lore dump for so fucking long. It fried my goddamn brain because Eddie wouldn't shut the fuck up for the entire thing.
He's doing the fucking... At first, he's doing the Taskmaster voice, and then Eddie, of course, does this thing where he just starts saying... So he tells you the story of... Eddie, once again, does the same thing where he goes meta. Cuts his own character off because he doesn't want to characterize him and just meta dumps information. So it's the most painful shit ever. There's no seasoning to this when you give information out, You want it to be flavored and seasoned differently, so it's not always so derivative. I try and make sure when NPCs talking and explaining some function of the world, that I'm utilizing it to also give, like, characterization to someone. Because if you do just one or the other, it can be a little hollow sometimes, and you need to do these lore dumps somehow through things. You can't always just have players observe it or literally be in a class and hear about it. You want people to explain these things, but you need to do it in a good way that feels natural enough, like you're just having a conversation with someone. And he says, no, that's gay. The team, at the behest of the Taskmaster, he's basically just like, that's so funny that you've been, like, using my coin. That's awesome. Anyway, what do you guys know about the Pastel Company? And everyone's like, I don't know. Hey, Taskmaster, we don't know what the fuck is happening here. And he ignores that and goes like, let me tell you the story of RWBY Pastel. And and as they are going, hey, listen, man, we're sorry for, like, causing, like, you to worry that what we're doing here. We're honestly, like, kind of done. Like, we want to leave. Like, this is fucked up. Like, they like, Pike speaks up to be like, I think we're kind of, like, done here and don't want to be involved with this. And the Taskmaster, this is the epic line that I have quoted here. The Taskmaster laughs. Well, I'd say you're far from done, because now you've summoned me. Like he's a fucking demon they made a pact with.
Jump scare. Like, I mean,
because now you've summoned me. Like, he's a genie. But Eddie reads it in his fucking voice, where it's just, but now you've summoned me, with his little grin on. And there's just this silence afterwards, and Eddie keeps going and starts talking in meta because he's embarrassed. Okay.
Jesus.
A and B comments from you guys, or should I give a brief summation of what we're going over, and you guys can just interrupt me as you see fit to laugh at this story.
Oh, please go over. My brain I paid attention to this, but I hated it so much.
So yeah.
Yeah, go for it. All I got here is, Poggies, it's the Taskmeister.
The Taskmeister!
I wrote down...
Meister and Taskmeister!
The Taskmeister Task.
I wrote down Eddie lore dump and some bits about what he's saying, like, you know, the bits about all the ancient civilizations throughout the world and the ruins.
I want to talk about one thing at the end that he does, which I have so much gaff to give Eddie over. But let's start off. In the words of Eddie Rivas, allow me to just meta explain this to you all. So, the Taskmaster immediately starts going like, okay, what do you know about the Pastel Company? They just entered Kuchinashi like a month ago. We established a little bit before Pastel's a mining corporation. They heard about them at one point. RWBY Pastel, the owner of the corporation, is described as... he launches into this thing where he says, nobles like to come to Kuchinashi to try and make it big. Once again, Eddie is just haphazardly explaining there's a noble class in Mistral without really explaining why, and that they apparently need to go here to make it big. I thought that's what being a noble is. Fuck off, Eddie. He says people like to go here and make it big, but RWBY had a different idea. So RWBY Pastel owns the mining company, and instead of going to mine dust, because normal people aren't here to actually are here to dig for the dust in the mountains, and don't use explosives, because you can't mine dust without it exploding if you blast for dust. So I don't know why that's a practice besides digging tunnels. Once again, are there minerals on Remnant that are valuable that you could blast for? Stay tuned to never have that answered, folks. But he goes very smugly in meta, because you're not talking to Taskmasters. This is just Eddie being smug, but RWBY was interested in something else. So then he says that RWBY starts blasting in the mountains where there's fucking dust, because he's looking for things. Supposedly there's this treasure trove from a civilization that the Taskmaster refers to as an older than old civilization.
This confuses me to no end.
A line that is so cringy and painful. Eddie then takes a brief sidebar to describe that, of course, Remnant has a bunch of fucking ruins all over it, which is kind of correct. As he rightfully explains, the Grimm will just roll through and destroy things. So there's lots of places that are just fucked up and left in disrepair. because Grimm came through, and it fucking died. So Remnant has lots of remnants of things. Very fucking clever. Yes, I understand this concept. But it's hard to normally date when these things were. But this place is, as he says, a Rostra doing a skill roll learns. Because, of course, it's a Rostra. Feels like when he says older than old, he means, like, old. Thanks, Eddie. So, Hobby finds these fucking ruins, apparently, and gets something there. He finds something and starts going around, waving around to crime organizations, trying to get them to buy it. The Wave, the crime organization that normally deals in Legion technology and things, is like, yeah, I will buy that shit. He says it's like a necklace or something. Some artifact. After that, he randomly mentions that the Hana Guild was taken over by a new leader who stopped dealing narcotics and instead became a shadowy organization rather than a public one. Whatever the fuck that means! We stopped being narcotics dealers. Now we're a shadow organization. Yeah! I love fake illusions! Fucking I'm gonna spend 15 minutes world building without using any specifics at all! Yes!
Isn't that base?
Don't want to lock yourself into a corner.
I wouldn't want to commit to anything. So
Commitment's hard.
So the Hana Guild wanted to purchase something from Pastel as well, but then he's just, then he's just like, I don't want to sell it anymore. For some reason, once again, this is weird. He then is like killed. I think he says like there's a knife in his throat, and he says one of my favorite lines because Eddie's so fucking stupid. He says there is only one unknown item that is missing from his house. Okay. How do you know it's missing if you don't know what the fuck it is, Eddie? What does
there was a little dust imprint around the table.
It says it's unknown. Like, is there a fucking hole in the ground? It's like something must have been here. Why did they not steal anything else anyway? It's a fucking... if you're robbing a guy and you kill him for something, you're gonna take, like, his fucking safe, right? Like, also, it's a fucking gang. So yeah, so somehow... the Taskmaster's informants were able to figure out that there was some mystery item they don't know about that is missing. And the Taskmaster's like, dude, obviously the Wave did this before, like, the Hana Guild could do it. And he's like, I need you guys, then, to do a favor for me. And none of the players are questioning any of this at this point. Like, you all aren't. And he's like, listen, dude, there's going to be an auction soon. An estate sale, I think he says, in Pastel's place. Because, like, his family came over to, like, sell all his shit, I guess. And he says, dude, Pastel totally had, like, a secret D&D cavern that leads to the mountain range. And, like, you guys can't obviously go to the mountains normally now. Like, Team Smoke is just standing there waiting to be aggroed, apparently. Like, for some reason, the team is not allowed to just go back to the mountain range normally. They've been proven they can't, even though, like, they just had, like, Team Smoke ambush them once. I feel like they could still go back there. It's not like it's completely sealed off. They could just have fucking retarded Pike dig a hole there. So now he's like, listen, you're going to go to this estate sale. And you're going to, like, go there and, like, get into there. But you're going to, like, I'm going to give you a job there also. Like, side quest, like, literally, like, a fucking blue exclamation mark over his head where he's just, like, separate quest. I want you to find a scroll there belonging to one of my associates. I'm not going to explain who, what, or where you would find it. Just find me a scroll there, lol. And they're like, okay, Taskmaster. I mean, yeah, if you're paying. And the Taskmaster's like, I don't deal in money. I deal in information.
I deal in credit cards.
Eddie, I get it. He's an information broker. They give out info for money, too.
Yo, Noah, how far are you in Mass Effect?
I'm not far enough to know whatever this joke's going to be about the Shadow Broker.
Yeah,
I heard about it.
The Shadow Broker is the same way, where he deals more in information than money.
I know. I talked to one of the little guys, and he talked about it, and I went, that's really dumb.
No. The Shadow Broker is actually really interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure, dude. He doesn't deal in money, though, right?
Well, I think he does, sort of, but he prefers information.
Yeah.
He prefers, traits.
I don't know. That's a really cool thing. Eddie is misunderstanding that and thinks that means the person doesn't pay with money, they pay with info. No. They want the info, and then they charge people for the info with maybe more info or money. That's not that they don't go, sorry, I'm not going to pay for that latte, but I'll tell you what your boss is cheating on his wife. That's not how they do it.
They need info, money, maybe you to do something for them. They give you the information, and then they get something from you, no matter what it might be.
Then the Taskmaster rolls up his sleeves, practically, as Eddie rolls up his sleeves, and tabs out of his r/D&D How to DM Badass Style Gilded post, where it says, tie in all the players' backstories together with your story. And he goes through and lists them all off like he's fulfilling a random requirement, going, I will tell you of your, Asher, I'll tell you about the girl who nearly cost you your life last time you were here. Arostra, I'll tell you of the banker who owns your family's debt. That's your backstory, Arostra? What the fuck? Phoenix, I'll tell you where the White Fang is, because Eddie isn't. And Carrie, I'll tell you what happened the last time fate dealt you a hand you couldn't fate. Who the fuck wrote this shit?
What the fuck?
I want to analyze all these points a little bit.
Okay.
But I just want to say, this is the most uncomfortable and stiff thing he's ever done. This is, like I made the allusion to, a beginner DM. Yes.
Hold on, I just want to say something. Hey, wake up, guys. Wake up.
Yeah, wake up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah? Are we talking about the plot hook salesman?
Yeah, exactly. I fucking hate this. This is like, I know you read an article how to DM well, Eddie, but you can't just copy and paste the idea of being like, tie in the narrative with your players' backstories. You don't have one guy show up and be like, I'll do all your side quest content if you help me. Like, oh my fucking god, this is so, like, uncomfortably, like, rudimentary. Like, this is how game programmers would handle, like, if you have a game where there's a multi-member party system and they show up to one encounter, and the encounter person will say something different to each party member to taunt them. Like, it is that same level of, like, oh, this is obviously pre-programmed to change depending on who I have with me. That's why it sounds so stiff and uncomfortable. Like, why? Why do you have the Taskmaster say this all now? Like, why don't you have the Taskmaster show up more than once and, like, string them all along in different ways? Why is it all dumped in front of them so awkwardly? Is this the only way they could understand this character's importance? Probably, but the Taskmaster, spoiler alert, this character, like, barely does anything. So yeah, what do you guys feel about plot hook merchant?
I feel like Eddie decided, oh yeah, I need like an overarching plot, like in the 6th episode.
Yeah, this has, frankly, this is fucking ridiculous. They would come here, and it's not even like he goes, well, why'd you think that so many people got hired for this job? You know, he's like, well, I clearly, like, fucked with it to get you all here, because I wanted you all here. That never happens. Never.
He just knows about them.
He just...
Now Asher's is like, okay, he would probably know about that, sure.
Especially with the backstory we learned about Asher.
Yes. Asher's like, of course, that makes sense. The rest, it's... And even Phoenix... He could have, like, somebody's like, well, he was looking for the White Fang. Like, someone could have told him that. He's like, well, I'll tell you where the White Fang is. But the other two are just like, how would he know that?
Pikes is the most baffling.
Well, Pikes
especially, like, okay, Arostra, one, you're fucking, what is this plot line? You are looking for a banker who owns your family's debt. Are you gonna, like, kill him?
Banks, man. What can we say?
At a bank? I mean, he probably if he's a banker, he probably works somewhere.
Why is it, like, mysterious? You're out to kill?
I'll help you defeat capitalism. Oh my god, we're in!
Yeah, it's literally just like,
free market economy.
Was this like a legal transaction?
What is he cheated us because we're honest. Okay, you're retarded. I don't know. What the fuck? Phoenix is just looking to know where the White Fang are. I really don't feel like that's on the same level of these other very specific requests. Asher's is the one who, like, makes the most sense, as we'll learn in the context later. The person he's looking for is a relevant, like, mover and shaker in Kuchinashi. Spoiler alert, so is Asher kind of at one point. Like, Asher is revealed later. I'm just saying it now, because you have to know in the context that there's so many times where I feel like people should know who Asher is here. Where, like, Asher was, like, an upstart in Kuchinashi at one point with this person. And it baffles me that less people... Like, I feel like Alabaster should be like, oh, I fucking remember you when I was the fucking assistant to the sheriff. Holy shit, what are you doing back in town? Like,
He was that good.
He's just that good. He was just that good. So that one, I get.
That good, man.
Pikes.
What? I'm sorry, dude. I need to keep going on how pathetic this is.
Go
Fuck
ahead.
fuck you, Eddie. And I'm sure Eddie's a nice guy, but fuck you, because
Sure is nice.
this is so it's lazy. It's just so lazy. It hurts. Like, just play D&D. Just play D&D where you can tie everyone's backstories together. It's, you know, there's like a guy who knows all this shit, sure. But in RWBY, I can't buy this. I can't buy that he would know about. I can't buy it. I can't buy it.
You can't.
I cannot suspend my disbelief. I can't.
I'm sorry. He put in so little effort because he doesn't know how to characterize people, and he is putting so little effort into portraying how the Taskmaster gathers info on people, or like his reach. Like, he's denied Chad so many opportunities to have the coin actually lead him somewhere. That makes me think the Taskmaster isn't as prevalent as he wants him to be. The Taskmaster just magically knowing things doesn't make him seem like a cool information broker. It makes him seem like a wizard in D&D that has scrying. Like, I don't understand. I'm completely with Ben here, where it's like you have to be you have to convince people to be able to pull off like big moments that are like, damn, this guy is in with things. You can't have them just show up and be like, well, yeah, I'm the DM's character. I can know whatever I want, dude. It makes you roll your eyes and be like, awesome, dude. I'm glad, like, this is just happening now. Like, so I could not imagine being interested or motivated by this character showing up. And that seems like the Taskmaster's whole point. He's a guy, you don't even know his name, he's a mysterious force in the world, trading information. But he's just some fucking dickhead, pencil dick, who just magically knows everything.
Also, can I say, here's something we're not thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
So, Alabaster, he runs basically the only law in Kuchinashi, right?
Yeah.
And this is a powerful person, allegedly. Now listen. No. This is the inconsistency.
Yeah.
So Alabaster doesn't, obviously, from what we see, does not know what he looks like.
He thinks he's a lawyer, yeah.
Yeah, he does not know what he looks like. Okay,
Yeah.
so he likes to keep things, you know, to the shadows and shit. Hey, dickhead, you just showed your face to everybody.
You showed your face to these 4 random people who just came to this town.
Why is this not a guy who goes, yeah, I work for the Taskmaster, he sent me to see you?
Yeah, and then later in some, like, reveal scene, they could be like, oh shit, he's actually the Taskmaster or something. Like,
yeah,
or why does he have a lackey here? Yeah, giving up his face to these randos who, for all he knows, could be like, yo, Alabaster, that's the Taskmaster! Submit to the room!
Sorry, is there a cat?
He is trusting Pike Wright with his
Pike
identity.
motherfucking right, the boy himself.
I'm the boy around here.
I will never be able to get over his quote to Pike, where he says, I can tell you the result of the time fate dealt you a hand you couldn't face. That is not something anyone in the world could say to Pike Wright. That is something you could only write as a summarization of his backstory, as like a cool, like, line towards it. That, like, the meta, like, words on the book, like, when you're being like, this is a little summation of his character would write. Like, one, it's already flavored in his own ability. Does Pike Wright tell people he is the hand of fate? No, he doesn't know that.
The Taskmaster semblance is fourth wall breaking.
Mind reading. Fourth wall breaking. That's awesome.
He literally talks like he's a D&D wizard. He
talks like he's a D&D wizard scratching his fucking magic beard. We all assume from inference on how it's described that whatever happened to Pike was like his reason he left Shade Academy to go to Haven. And it's apparently something he doesn't fully know the context of, which is also weird. Why couldn't the Taskmaster just be like, I could tell you the results of what happened after your early expulsion or something. Like, I don't know, imply whatever actually happened. Why is he using this flowery, weird language? It's the same thing Glinda did at the start. I think Eddie makes it think it's, like, smart if people talk in, like, cool, riddly-ish language.
Well, maybe Pike is such an unknown entity. He couldn't find any info about him, so it's like a shot in the dark.
It's just a shot in the dark.
Like, I don't know. He looks retarded. That's the only info I can get out of people is that he's retarded.
I'll tell you that what happened that last time when something really unlucky happened to you. It's like fucking cold reading. You're right. He's just. You have like a dead aunt, sister, mother. They said they were in pain and they love you. I did have an aunt. Yeah.
A bunch of rocks fell on your parents. No, that's not what happened.
It was something.
Rocks,
it was
dirt, brown. Did you ever wear a brown shirt?
Did you ever wear?
My dad should have said. His pants.
My dad used to wear a brown shirt. Oh, there, that's it.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I'm seeing. It's really he's trying to connect really hard. Yeah, exactly. And of course they're just like yes immediately. Phoenix just says yes, and Taskmaster goes great, and he leaves, assuming Phoenix answers for them, and no one is like that. Awesome, yeah.
To be fair, Phoenix seems pretty excited about his plot hook, so...
Phoenix seems excited.
And answering yes is at least in character.
Chad was literally, like, bouncing his chair, being like, yeah, I'm going to do cool underworld dealings! Laura's just, like, comatose. She's probably trying to think if that Fox Faunus is down to fuck.
She was like, oh, fuck, I left my glasses in the jail cell. I can't hear him.
I can't hear him! Kiri's doing a pog face, and, yeah, and that's, like... And that's it. They're let out and they start to talk about like what can we do, and Eddie's just like we're in this session there, and they're like okay, damn. The fucking title drops. This is the part of the campaign we said on our first watching just should have been the start. Like Crow's mission has so far devolved and was so vague. The idea of them, like, I know Eddie established some characters and wanted to do that first, but this is, like, the plot hook, clearly. Like, he is clearly the most succinct way to hook them into an adventure and giving them, like, a much more concrete objective. It really feels like a reboot of the plotline to be reintroduced here. And it's just so bizarre.
I would say, I mean, again... All Eddie had to do was be like, "Yeah, I'm the reason you all got signed up for this mission." Like, I literally orchestrated all of this. I didn't orchestrate your shit crashing, clearly, but
yeah, that would have been such a good idea. It's like, yeah, I'm the one who pulled some strings for the system to have an accident. I needed people to do this, and I have information on all of you that I know I can string you along with. So I picked all of you because I want you for the job, and because I have leverage on you. Like, that's what he should have done. I would have been like, oh, that's kind of cool. That he's like, oh, I have info on these guys. I can use it against them to motivate them to do something. We all get out of it. I'd be like, wow, that's a really smart plan. That shows the Taskmaster's influence in, like, a way that's, like, you know, getting into the mission system is clearly, like, not impossible. And I could believe, like, a guy fucking with that to have an accident like this happen. It'd make you feel like, oh, I should have suspected that accident and not just been a lame excuse by Eddie for the campaign. It would have been like, okay, the Taskmaster's got, like, intel on us. It's like, it's a much more graceful way to try and show him off. And then hopefully you don't have the cringe quotes. You have, like, someone tries to be like, fuck this, and he speaks up and goes, oh, I know you're I'm sorry, Asher. I know you probably have to go look for your friend Abby, but I could tell you a shorter way to get there if you just do this job for me. And he's like, what? How do you know about that? And then he comes, sits down. And if anyone ever gives him guff, you can always flash that little bit of knowledge and be like, I know something you'd probably want to know. But be, like, vague and kind of, like, a little more smooth about it instead of quest logging all of them at once.
Hello, I am now going to exposition you. Hello, please be prepared to open your mouth and get the exposition. Here comes the airplane.
Airplane. I guess what I'm saying is, I feel like, you know, all of this is me coping that Sinbad was nothing compared to the Taskmaster. He's very awkward, I know. Obviously. It's very cringe. I know. I forced him down your throats into existence. I made you go to jail on purpose. I railroaded you there to get there.
You made us go to jail, yeah.
And I made you get no information that was actually helpful and just gave you another side quest, because that's what players want. They want to be continually blue-balled and cockballed.
Yeah, I don't like how you ended that Felix side quest. I didn't feel it was very resolved.
I didn't like how during that Felix side quest, we all didn't also have a side quest going on at the exact same time.
Yeah, we did. It was
dude, if we're not all sharing the spotlight, I might, kill myself.
Yeah, where was my Clara section? I need to...
In the word of Chad, sorry guys, I don't want to take up too much time advancing the plot.
Ben, I wish you said that to me during Maboshi stuff. You're like, yeah, sorry guys for taking up time for the plot.
I'm sorry.
I really should have done that.
Should we cut over to see, what Viridian or, Clara are doing right now?
The thing is that whole arc was so long. I mean, I don't think I could have absorbed all the time. I'm like a sponge. But
I'm right next to Felix.
Yeah, but you're well, you don't care about this, right? This is his thing. It's not your quest log.
Well, yeah, you're right. I don't fucking give a shit about it. I don't give a shit about that Lagoose.
Whoa.
Alright, well, that was episode 6, so it's time for the best part of the show. Reckless Rogue on episode 5. This show keeps getting better.
I'm gonna go take a piss.
It started great. No. So many more cool moves. And if Daft dies, nobody will be able to save Smoke. Another absolute fire episode. We can all see who the real MVP is, laughing face. From Hazard Senpai. I love that a roster semblance can work in that way, too.
I love that it's inconsistent.
I love it. Amanda Seeker 12. This is as cool as Team Smoke sucks. So a lot.
Holy shit, kid, you're 12!
I like Scotty Herbs here. I wonder how Sings would have gone had the others not interrupted Chad every time he tried to resolve that confrontation.
Base. Holy shit.
Seamus, 1125. This is on episode 6 now. Start of the episode. I hope everyone makes it out okay. End of the episode. Do I ship Pike and Phoenix? Laughing face?
Hey, man. You need to back off.
Hey, man. To back up our previous comments, Nefarious here says, this Taskmaster deal, parentheses, unique payments, is such a clever device. Love it and love this series. And down to the funnier comments. The Bad Wolf 33. Sorry if this was already answered by the show, but is roster spot as part of Frog?
Okay. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'd also like to say, yes, I do, in fact, ship Felix and Viridian.
Based.
What the fuck? I ship them, though?
Here's the last comment I'd like to summarize, because this is possibly the best comment I've ever found on the Grimm campaign so far. From Nyland, RWBY Plus member. Huh, never watched RWBY before. I know, and I still call myself an RT fan. I love this show so much. I have to start binging it. This guy started RWBY with the Grimm campaign.
That's pretty based.
I mean, honestly, I think
didn't watch RWBY. Watch the Grimm campaign.
I think that would actually make it better.
I mean, probably.
Fucking world. And then there's immediately 2 people who comment below being like, oh dude, the animation's roughing first, haha. Apologizers immediately.
Wait, sorry, what did I say?
I said the animation sucks at first. It gets better.
And then it gets worse.
Lamau. Yeah. Literally coping right away.
Literally coping.
Yeah, it sucks, gets a little bit better, then starts sucking again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you current or most recent RWBY season where the fucking Grimm slides across the screen to grab Blake. I remember that. Do you want us to talk about the big gun? I can talk about the big gun.
That wraps up our comment sections for episodes 5 and 6 of the Grimm campaign.
Fucking woo. These were the worst fucking episodes by far.
Easily. That is
I think these might be the worst episodes. These are probably the worst episodes by far of the first season.
Yeah,
easily.
I can't.
I would say episode 6 is the worst. It's 30 minutes of them literally rolling.
I
And then
I cannot
15 minutes of horseshit.
I cannot imagine it gets worse than this for the rest of the season, because that was actually like insanely painful.
No, like the campaign can be entertaining to nitpick and make fun of for us, and hopefully you guys listen to. We always say don't actually listen to the show because it's garbage, but there is at least like fun stuff to riff off of normally when it's like role play focused content, because they're talking and keep saying or doing stupid things that are like fun to like pick apart and mock. But like in episodes where it's just like bad combat encounters and people getting mad at dice rolls and like weird skill rolls and Eddie just being like a terrible managing at like mechanical things, it's just like so soul crushing. Like the moments I look for in these to really get a kick out of is like weird shit like that miner's code stuff, or like or some retard going, I just was looking for Tycho. It's like that's the fun shit. This is just like pain.
It's only so many times you can say Poggy's natty 20.
When you watch Minecraft High School, you're not watching for walking to school. You're watching for school shootings.
Maybe you're not. I love the walking to school bits.
You always bitched about it. How dare you? If you're curious what Minecraft High School is, don't worry. It'll be another subject we cover on the Supernova Safari. As it is a role-playing series.
I am not watching it.
It is a role-playing series, bro!
I am not watching it again!
Well, I guess you won't be on those episodes, Blake.
Good, you can be there alone, you fucking asshole.
400 of them. We can't
That'll
do a
be
series.
I'm gonna say this once. I need to do this.
What?
I feel like I've been given Captain America's shield.
I will not watch all of Minecraft High School again. You can get fucked.
Alright, sorry, Blake. We'll have fun.
See you later, Balake, if I can call you that.
Okay.
Damn, evil Blake today, huh? Take your meds so you don't go evil, Blake.
Okay. I'm gonna end it in a second. We'll see you next time, folks. This will only get worse.
He's gonna kill himself.
You want me?
A few moments later.
Yeah. Okay, so this is recorded like 10 seconds after I just cut because I accidentally ended. What? Because it's gonna look kind of jarring.
No, it's fine. We can just all cut it laughing like Ben said something wrong.
What?
You're 1, 2, 3. Ben, you can't say that!
Fuck you. I didn't say
funny,
shit.
Ben.
That's pretty funny, but okay, Blake, you're gonna cut that part out. All right, let's get to the outro.
I'm never gonna be able to run for president.
Yeah, go.
Oh, I'm doing it. Yeah. Okay,
no,
guys.
I got this.
Go for it, Ben.
What the fuck?
How about we each get one?
Like, comment, and subscribe. Please go watch the new Dom Pirates. Go watch the other one. I forget his name.
Based.
And go check out Liam's channel.
Yeah, if anyone finds, if any of you can find Liam's channel, there is a reward. I promise he at least has one video on it. This pinky swear.
Do I?
Yeah, but it's private.
Oh no, dude.
Alright, folks. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next Safari.
See ya.
Grab yourself a seat and keep those hands in the vehicle at all times. You're about to be taken on a ride through the untamed wilds of internet role-playing. Observe them in their natural habitat.
Okay, please don't fight each other. You're too important to die.
Enjoy the splendor of their spurgery.
Okay, you know what? Fuck this, no.
And feast your eyes upon the questionable creations of internet randoms.
Actually, I've never DM'd before.
This is the Supernova Safari.